On a gorgeous day here in Texas, welcome to Fox College Football, sponsored by Volkswagen. Drive something bigger than yourself. 66 degrees in Fort Worth for the 90th meeting between the Horned Frogs and the Longhorns as Texas comes in at number 15, finding a way to survive. It wasn't pretty, but they were able to figure it out against Kansas last week.
Gallagher with the snap. Sam back to throw on first down. Steps up in the pocket. Fires deep over the caught by Johnson. Collin has a first down. Gallagher steps up, you run. 45, first down, and down he goes. Fires to look. Caught. Collins Johnson inside the 35 and a first down. Good snap and hold. Dinker's kick is up, and the kick is good.
Oklahoma trying to charge from way back in Manhattan. They're within a touchdown and just recovered an onside kick in the final minutes, trying to stay unbeaten. Otherwise, Baylor would be the lone unbeaten in conference play here as we reach late October. Welcome inside. Hope you're having a great day. Joe Davis, Brock Hewitt, Bruce Feldman joins us in a moment. Of course, Texas, Brock, last year under Tom Herman, they go to the Sugar Bowl. They go to the Big 12 championship, and so huge expectations coming into this year. They're 5-2 with a couple good losses, but with the way that last week went, it kind of has people wondering, where is Texas?
Yeah, I think there's legitimate concern. Offensively, you're good enough to be a playoff contender. They've shown that against the likes of LSU and Oklahoma. The challenge is defensively. In the nearly 600 yards they gave up to Kansas just a week ago. Yeah, and I think it's got people asking legitimate questions about Todd Orlando's group. Is it effort? Is it want to? Is it athleticism? Statistically speaking, if the season ended today, this would be the worst Longhorn defense in their history. That's saying a little something, and that effort's got to change today.
So that's the bad. The good is Sam Ehlinger in this Texas offense.
Just awesome. I was down pregame looking at him. He is just such a rock of confidence. He's been through this now for 3 years with Tom Herman, and he is playing. The captain is playing at the level I think everyone expected him to. He's elevating the people around him. He's scoring touchdowns, and I seem to think his legs are going to be pretty active today against a TCU defense. And speaking of legs, well, his counterpart at the quarterback position on the other side, Max Duggan, that is what he is using. Over 100 yards a week ago. In fact, in many ways, Joe, he reminds me of Sam from 2 seasons ago. Learning on the fly, at times a little over-animated, times fundamentally unsound, but a whole bunch of grit and a whole bunch of belief in him around this facility.
Series that goes back to the 1800s. Should be a good one this afternoon as we take it a break with our Progressive Insurance game countdown. The Horns and the Horned Frogs with opening kickoff coming up on the other side of this break on Fox. When we talk about Texas issues on defense, injuries becoming a bigger part of the story as well, as Caden Stearns will miss his 4th consecutive game with a knee injury. Thompson and Brown both out. DeMarvion Overshown will miss today's game with a shoulder injury. And B.J. Foster probably won't play unless there's an emergency and they need him back in there as he deals with a shoulder injury of his own. For more on this Texas defense, here's Bruce Feldman.
Joe, for Texas defensive coordinator Todd Orlando, the most frustrating issue has been the tackling problems. He said when you're dealing with so many young players, he said there's going to be some internal hesitation where you're worrying, am I going to get beat? He said as a coach, you always got to be mindful of that, because if you keep talking about missed tackles, that's probably only going to lead to more missed tackles. So all you really talk about is running to the football and to try to get 2 or 3 guys all around them. He said right now, this has been a major psychology class in terms of these younger guys. The message we keep harping on, just cut it loose, man. That's the biggest thing. We're going to make you a great player, but you can't fear anything.
Year 3 under Tom Herman for the Longhorns. Sights still set on a trip to the Big 12 championship game. And at number 15, the highest-ranked 2-loss team in the country. Gary Patterson's team with its first home game in almost a month, hoping that it's what the doctor ordered, having lost 3 of the last 4. Off we go in Fort Worth with Texas winning the toss, deferring to the second half, and TCU ready to begin at the 25-yard line with the true freshman Max Duggan out of Lewis Central High School in Iowa, where he played for his father. 11 total touchdowns, no interceptions, and like you talked about off of the top, he has shown some big things on the ground. How about this run last week at Kansas State?
I think it surprised everybody, maybe even surprised Max a little bit, but he is a strong kid. He's strong in the weight room. It's carried over onto the field. And you could see this play just elevate the confidence of the people around him. And to me, that's one of the biggest keys. Got a good O-line, got some excellent wide receivers and a good run game. He's just got to elevate the people around him.
First play of the day for the Horned Frogs is a Darius Anderson run, and he gets a few. Stop made by Juwan Mitchell as we take a look at the TCU starters on offense.
And the left guard, Cordell Wagwu, is the captain of that group. He has the presence. There's 4 seniors on that offensive line, and Jalen Rager, he's the explosive maker on the perimeter.
Back-to-back run plays. Anderson gets tripped up by the corner Deshaun Jamison. Part of this Texas defense that has struggled a ton. 638 yards against the Longhorns last week by Kansas in a 50-48 win.
Big third down here. Confidence of a true freshman. Confidence of a defense that was shaky a week ago.
They bring Shewo Olanalua into the game at running back. Tay Barber lined up in the backfield as well. Opening drive, 3rd down and 5. First throw for Duggan. He finds the crosser. Wide open Jalen Rager for a first down to the 40.
And you see a big pocket there. Been one of the challenges with this Texas defense. Malcolm Roach, he sets the tone on that defensive line, but they've got to be more active when they rush 4 and get home. Joseph Asai's got an engine that never stops. Sideline to sideline, plays as hard as anybody in college football. And Brandon Jones, one of the last men standing, the captain of the defense on the back end. A lot of inexperience around him.
He is the only upperclassman on the 2 deep in the back 8. We're talking 16 players, and he's the only junior or senior. Anderson tracked down from behind. He gets a yard. Stop made by Montrell Estelle. And you're talking about TCU offensively. You got a true freshman quarterback. You've got 2 really good running backs, and so they lean on this ground game, averaging 240 per game. That's 12th in America.
4 seniors on your O-line. I'd add in 2 pretty physical tight ends as well. 58% run for the one-time air raid quarterback and air raid system guy. Playing to the strengths of your group.
Sonny Cumbie in his 6th season at TCU. Rager the motion man on 2nd down and 8. Here's Shewo Olanalua, 6'3", 240 pounds, tumbles near midfield. Estelle with another tackle. The numbers for Texas defensively, especially over the last 4, unsightly.
Troubling. And really, in talking to Todd Orlando, just caught in between. You bring pressure, you get the big play against you. You sit back, and what they're doing right now, they're putting their cleats in the ground. You're not seeing a lot of disguise, just trying to get lined up. And as Bruce said earlier, let the guys cut it loose. But when you do that, you've been getting gashed as well, just in between, a place you never want to be.
TCU, one of the best 3rd down teams in the Big 12. 3rd and 1 here. Rager coming in motion. It's Olanalua straight ahead. He's hit in the backfield, and it doesn't look like he got it. The Texas defense stands up here on 3rd and short.
As a middle backer, Juwan Mitchell, the junior college transfer this June that just pulled the trigger. Enough penetration early. But number 6 did exactly what Todd Orlando's asking his guys to do, and that's to play aggressive with a huge stop. And you can hear the locals, they don't like this decision on 4th and 1.
What do you think?
I think this is the right decision. Yeah, I think you've got to play to some of the strengths of your group, and it's certainly Gary Patterson's defense. But I'd also be on high alert here. If you get the look you want in that defensive group here, if you got a fake in your back pocket.
Jordy Sandy, freshman punter, sends it away to Brandon Jones. Fair catch, and Texas will have the ball for the first time with Sam Ehlinger on the other side of this break. Fox College Football is sponsored by State Farm. Talk to an agent today. Now by the Ford Expedition, built to be better big. So here comes Texas on offense for the first time, and Sam Ehlinger, 67 touchdowns over the last 2 seasons. He's top 5 in Texas history in yards and in completions and in touchdowns. And through 7 games this year, Brock, putting up as good numbers as anybody ever has at Texas.
Most accurate he's ever been. When you got a guy that played as a true freshman, I'm always curious to watch their commitment to developing. And he has immensely. Physically, changed his body in his release, more over the top, and playing with more accuracy and anticipation than he ever has.
And they shift all over the place before the first snap. Begin the day with a Keontae Ingram run. He breaks free for a first down, crossing the 30. Coming off a bounce-back game, ran for more than 100 yards behind this offensive line that has made big improvements.
He ran right behind the center there, the captain, Zach Shackelford. He is a load, playing with great confidence because I think he believes in the people around him. And Devin DuVernay leads college football with 61 receptions on the season, many of those the slot receiver. They moved him inside, the right decision to make. And many of them are the bubble screen variety. Just get that guy the ball in space.
8 of those 61 catches came last week, included a couple touchdowns against Kansas. Ingram swings out. Ellinger looks to throw for the first time. He'll flush off his spot. There's a flag down as he crosses the 40, gets stopped by Wyatt Harris, but a flag in the backfield.
And I think that's going to be a hold on the right tackle. Nice little line stunt by TCU.
Holding by number 75 of the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty, and it's still first down.
Junior Angulau at right guard.
TCU has had such a challenge this year getting home. Just 1.5 sacks out of their defensive ends. You see the nice tackle there by the redshirt freshman guard Angulau.
Both draw flag.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Both of these defensive lines have had such trouble. The entire defense is just 11 sacks total for TCU and Texas on the other side. Rushing for and getting home, not been common here in Fort Worth.
Yeah, it's interesting. Leading the Big 12 in total defense, TCU is, but a little bit misleading. Gary Patterson says they've either been really good or really bad. Ellinger has a wide open Duvernay right at the sticks, his first catch of the day. And number 62 on the season to lead the country.
Well, those two have been really good. And look at the timing of this corner throw. The ball is out. It's to the perimeter. You just can't dial it up any better. Exactly what you would expect from a junior and senior.
Ingram again lowers the shoulder, runs through a defender for 3 against his TCU defense. Always one of the best in the conference with Gary Patterson.
Yeah, Ross Blacklock is the load. He's a D tackle right in the middle. He's the best on that D line. Garrett Wallow, the linebacker, he cleans up everything else. And a very veteran secondary as well.
Ellinger on time, and John Burt goes down to catch it. 3rd and short. John Burt getting an opportunity to start today. Brennan Eagles missed practice time this week for personal reasons. He is on the trip and figures to play a big role, but it is Burt getting the start. First 3rd down for the Longhorns, one of the best 3rd down teams in the country. Ellinger steps away from the pressure and gets popped at the line of scrimmage. O'Shawn Mathis with a tackle. It's going to be close as he falls forward. Looks like they're going to spot him a little bit short. So 4th and inches and no hesitation. After TCU decided to punt on 4th and short from midfield, Tom Herman says, let's go.
Junior QB versus freshman quarterback.
And the play call on 4th and inches is Ingram straight ahead, first down. But a whistle. The whistle blowing the play dead.
Prior to the snap, replay paged the officials on the field. The ruling of short for the first down is under further review.
So, assuming that the call isn't changed, TCU may be catching a break there because Texas was going to have a first down. Well, still taking a look at this on replay. But by going back and looking ourselves, looked like maybe he had gotten enough. I wouldn't be surprised to see them overrule this upon replay and give them first down.
Yeah, and just mark the number of times situations today. Red zone, 3rd downs, big moments where you're going to see Sam, I think, do this. Design QB run. A good call by Gary Patterson. Wallow's there to make the tackle. Sam makes a miss, and you're going to see here on the tackle, he's laying on top of the body. The hand and wrist are attached. Got to be the forearm down.
After further review, the runner made the line to gain at the 45.5-yard line. It's a first down.
So they do reverse it on replay. Not often you see that. Usually it's going to stand when you're talking about the matter of inches on spots. One of the top offenses in the country so far this season converts.
Yeah, and that just shows you the belief, right? It is telling somewhat those short yardage situations around midfield. The belief that Herman has in Ellinger, and don't be surprised here, this is a perfect shot zone between the 40s.
Better than 40 points per game. Best at Texas in more than a decade. They scored 50 last week. More than 600 yards in that win against Kansas. With Cade Brewer tighter to the formation, John Burt screaming out there from the wide side, wondering what's going on. It's Ingram spinning his way across the 40.
And what's going on is Sam's looking at the defense there, the 2 safety look. In the depth of those safeties, he changed what probably was a pass call into a positive run play.
Quickly back on the ball, bubbled it outside. Here's Duvernay hoping for some blocks in front, won't get him. It's 3rd and short. One of the games within the game here, one of the stories within this game is that veteran quarterback in Ellinger you're talking about against Gary Patterson.
That's right. And a veteran secondary. 4 seniors that start in that TCU, and you can see the ranks defensively in conference. They've had a couple hiccups on a wet, sloppy field up in Ames, Iowa, where the Cyclones got after them. SMU in this building. Some short fields, but by and large, this has been a sound, stout defense.
3rd down 3 for Texas. There again, Ellinger IDing the defense, making a call at the line with 5 to snap it. Back to throw, facing pressure, stands in, floats one, back shoulder, what a catch. Colin Johnson, who had a huge game against TCU last year, brings it in for 21 and a first down.
Yeah, he just crushed him. Plays just like this. 3rd downs, 4th downs, touchdowns. That elbows in. Clearly, he possesses the ball. A nightmare matchup for the undersized corner.
Ellinger on the roll, pressured from behind, and will throw it out of bounds, 2nd and 10.
You know, it's interesting. You brought up just the senior, right? Or junior, excuse me, in Ellinger. It feels like he's a senior. He's been here forever. But just this back and forth with Gary Patterson, you love it. That's the growth and development, why they're so good in the red zone. And actually an area where TCU has been weak. But you know that Sam loves this matchup because it's not just about knowing his offense. He knows it inside and out. It's now about attacking that defense. That's where the growth has been in his game.
Into the short side, Ingram, foot in the ground, sheds a tackle and leans forward close to the 5. It's 3rd and short as Vernon Scott makes the tackle.
Young quarterbacks, Max Duggan on the other side, just want to know your own offensive play, your own personnel. Veteran quarterbacks start to attack the weaknesses of defenses.
They empty it out for Ellinger here on 3rd and 3. He'll run it straight ahead. He's not going to get it. So a gain of 2, 4th and 1, and another early decision. Tom Herman going to send the field goal team out.
And I think that's the right decision. On the road, a quality defense, especially in this building. I'm going to pay off a productive drive and get points.
With Cameron Dicker, game-winning 33-yarder last week for the sophomore from Lake Travis. He's got it. So Texas strikes first here in the 90th meeting between Texas and TCU. Tonight on Fox, Game 4 of the World Series. The Astros try to even it up at 2 games apiece. The road team has won each of the first 3 games. Jose Urquidy in somewhat of a bullpen game for Houston. Patrick Corbin counters for the Nationals. They go 80 yards in 12 plays and settle for a field goal for the game's first points. Darius Anderson to return this kickoff from Cameron Dicker. Yeah, it fell off of the tee. I think we had that much wind today. Big 12 standings at this point. Oklahoma made quite a charge. Wow. They're down 48-23 and looked like they'd gotten an onside kick overturned for an illegal touching.
It was Wisconsin the week before, a heavy favorite that goes down in conference play. The Sooners travel up to Manhattan, and the Little Apple gets it done.
Thing is drilled out of the end zone. Time to check in with Sam Farber in Los Angeles for a T-Mobile game break to see how it went down.
Now, Joe, the folks don't have to take your words for it. Here it is, the onside kick attempt, down 7. Oklahoma appears to recover it after the scramble, but hold everything. Illegal touching is the call after a lengthy review, and Kansas State wins 42-35, their first top 5 win since 2006. Back to Joe and Brock.
Coach Kleiman, you can coach a little football. North Dakota State, obviously a title winner time and again, brings his game just quality play.
Suddenly TCU saying maybe that loss last week doesn't look as bad. Here's Rager getting around the end. Yeah, getting a first down, stopped by Brandon Jones. It was a 24-17 loss for the Horned Frogs in Manhattan last week. Game they felt like they should have won.
Got to get this guy as many touches. Missed him a few times. Open against the Wildcats. Got to simply get the ball in the most dynamic player on your offense's hands any way possible.
4.29 in the 40, one of the fastest players in the conference. Here's Duggan running for the first time, and the freshman angles out of bounds with a first down.
I'm not surprised to see this commitment to the run. That's now 7 runs to 1 pass. You want to run right at these Longhorns. They've given up over 200 yards rushing. The last couple weeks been a struggle on that side to get off blocks, run right at them.
Given up 5 100-yard rushers in the last 4 games. That included Puka Williams last week going off. 190 for the Jayhawks. He is some player, by the way. From the 47, Duggan back to throw. Clean pocket. Floats one down the middle. It's intercepted by Brandon Jones. A flag down after the pick as Jones brings it back near midfield. First interception thrown by Duggan.
Well, remember I talked about young quarterbacks simply learning their play, and it's kind of difficult to learn the intricacies of what a defense is trying to do to you. Well, that's case in point. And you can see the shaking of the head. Can't believe it. That's the first pick of the year. Texas just runs 3, rushes 3, drops 8 into coverage. And that's a young quarterback that isn't attuned to exactly what's going on in coverage.
And again, it seemed like the flag came after the interception.
After the interception, a blindside block by number 44 of the intercepting team. It's a first down.
It's on Tyler Owens. So the interception stands, but this penalty will bring it way back.
Yeah, well, look at the clicker here, and this is just too deep by Texas. And I bet you that's what Max sees. He does not see, though, the safety right here. Brandon, that's sneaky, right? He's the 8th extra defender, just rushing 3. I don't think Max ever sees them. He sees those safeties split, as any young quarterback does. Study the safeties first, sees the safety split, but then you got to find the underneath coverage. And the captain, Brandon, he baits them, right? He's sitting there at a linebacker level, and you can see the penalty there, the blindside block pretty clearly by the true freshman Owens. Brandon gets underneath that seam route. And another learning lesson for a true freshman.
But if you're Duggan, your eyes are wide, right? You think you've got it there.
No question.
Out of the middle of nowhere, Jones gets his 2nd interception of the year.
You got to confirm what you see pre-snap, post-snap.
TCU bringing pressure. They run away from it with Ingram. Stiff arm the first man that got pushed out.
Does that make sense? Pre-snap, here's the coverage. Right, and again, a young quarterback's, okay, I got the coverage, I see it. And he goes over to Sonny and says, I thought I saw it too deep. That seam should have been there. Well, what did you see post-snap? Well, I didn't really see anything post-snap. I saw a blur of activity and, unfortunately, a pick.
Moses Sam Darnold said earlier this week, I'm seeing ghosts. 2nd down 6 for Texas. The penalty wound up being about a 40-yard penalty, negating the return from Jones. Heavy dose of Ingram so far. Stepped out of the tackle of Gaines and makes it 3rd and short. Shamik Blackshear with a tackle. 3rd and 2 for Texas.
Yards after contact. Been a difference maker here in the first 10 minutes of play. Texas getting them running through some of those arm tackles.
Well, 3rd and short a couple times on that first drive. They let Ellinger run both times. See where they go to on 3rd and short again. Ellinger back to throw. Pressure from the secondary. Another missed tackle. 2 on that play, leading to Ellinger getting a first down and a gain of 9.
How about that? And I think Texas fans are going, thank you. This is what we saw last week trying to tackle the Jayhawks. Couldn't get it done. Ennis Gaines, wide open. Perfect play call for Gary Patterson. Can't make that tackle, can't make the second. And Sam makes you look bad.
He'll float one. He's got Jake Smith. Incomplete off of the hands of the true freshman.
Boy, what a route. You don't see that very often from Jake, the National Player of the Year, the Gatorade National Player of the Year. Don't think the sun was in his eyes either. He runs a beautiful seam route. A little slant move early in that route and just off the freshman's fingertips.
And not an easy catch, right, when you're adjusting over the shoulder like that, but one that Texas fans already have come to expect him to make. 2nd and 10 against a 4-man rush. Ellinger given time, and he gets intercepted. Anticipated by Garrett Wallow. And so TCU takes it right back with the first takeaway in 4 games.
How good is that? The junior linebacker, this is all about film study and preparation. He's right here. All right, just a 4-man rush, as you said, and that only happens with route study. And I'll tell you what, Ellinger got fooled right there. He thought it was going to be a continuation of that in cut. Instead, Wallow runs the route, and most importantly, finishes the drill. That is rare. Ellinger, Duvernay not on the same page. And the junior linebacker, the leading tackler, the playmaker of that defense, gets a huge takeaway, a rarity for this TCU defense.
Using some of his safety instincts when he came to TCU to play. Back and forth at that spot last year. He intercepts Ellinger and sets TCU up at the 20-yard line. Rager swings out. Osai reads it well, but can't catch up. Second effort brings him down. They're finding every way they can to get the ball in the hands of Jalen Rager.
Yeah, Osai is relentless. And Gary Patterson knows that's exactly what his crew needed. Just the 6th takeaway of the year. And only the 4th pick for Ellinger. But Joseph Osai, 46, you just won't find a defensive player play as hard.
2nd down and 5. Olana Lua into the teeth of the defense. Didn't have much. Taquan Graham with a tackle, and quickly 3rd down.
Big play here for Todd Orlando. He's been very base through this first quarter. And by that, not a lot of pressure. He's just trying to get these young players comfortable, especially in the secondary. He loves to blitz. They do it as much as anybody in college football. Nearly 47% pressure on the season. But thus far in this first frame, trying to just let his guys cut it loose.
He's searching for some pressure, a lot like TCU defensively. Just 1 sack for Texas over the last 3 games. On 3rd and 4, Duggan heaves it out of the back of the end zone, feeling the pressure from the senior Malcolm Roach. Captain and the leader up front for the Longhorns makes it 4th down.
Yeah, Duggan takes a pretty good shot here after he delivers it. Finally, the Longhorns bring a 5th defender. You're going to see the hands to the face there. In the NFL, that is a penalty. That is a fine. That's a penalty. Can't hit quarterbacks at the next level like that, Malcolm. But he takes care of business against Duggan. No chance with the unblocked Roach in his face.
And so Jonathan Song, redshirt senior in his career inside 40 yards, is 27 for 28. This one from 32. Out of the hold of Jordy Sandy. Right down the middle to tie the game at 3. Late in the first quarter, all tied up here in Fort Worth. Fox College Football is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you. And by Wendy's, the official hamburger of NCAA football. Those are sweet. Huh? Take a look at the one to watch, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Joseph Osai. I mean, we talk about the defense having a tough season as a unit, but Joseph Osai, their leading tackler, doing some good things.
Yeah, and you know, I'll take Todd Orlando at his word. This isn't about want to. When you watch the effort of Osai and many of the guys up front, they are playing hard. It is just at times being out of position. It's very poor tackling, which you have not seen in this first quarter. They have been the better tackling team between the two. And Osai is a joy to watch because you feel his joy to play this game.
Deshaun Jamison, who has a kick return touchdown this season, waits back on Griffin Cowell's kick. Fair catch taken by Jake Smith, and Texas will begin to the 25-yard line. Time now for More Than a House, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. When it opened, seated 22,000 back in 1930. Hell's Half Acre, they call it, now 46,000 plus, and in the middle of a $100 million addition right now to the far side of the field. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. Really adds to the big-time feel of the place, them putting that up.
Where would we have called that game in 1920? Where was
the fans?
Where was the booth?
Tied at 3. Beautiful place.
Beauty. Just a perfect day for football in the upper 60s.
Well, yesterday wasn't looking good. One of the coldest days in months here. They start this drive with the first touch for Roschon Johnson. What a story Roschon Johnson is. True freshman and a highly touted quarterback recruit. But running back after running back goes down during training camp with an injury. So Roschon Johnson shoots a text to Coach Herman and says, hey, can we talk? I want to move to running back because I see that's what the team needs right now. He was an emergency option at that point, but has turned into one of their best options and is burning his red shirt as that's tossed incomplete wide of Elvante Woodard. It'll be 3rd down and 8. He was 3rd in the depth chart when they moved him. Another injury opened up a roll. And then they had another decision to make. Do you want to shut it down at 4 games in redshirt? He said, no, you need me right now. I'm going to keep playing.
That's a true freshman. Incredible maturity.
3rd down and 8. TCU showing pressure. They're going to bring it. Ellinger gets rid of it. Incomplete. Was the contact early? Doesn't look like it with the coverage from Trayvon Merrick. Intended receiver Cade Brewer, 4th down.
Ooh, I think he was a little bit early here. But a bang-bang play, and the officials are going to let him play. I like Merrick. He is a young safety that is growing into it. You see that body contact early.
That's way early.
Yeah, I'm surprised. And usually those back judges see that contact before the ball gets there. That's what you're looking for. Does he impede, in that case, Brewer's opportunity to go get it? I think he does. That's got to be a penalty.
TCU is 2nd in the country in 3 and outs. Forced their first one today, and Ryan Buchemski out to punt. Fair catch taken at the 36. And that's where TCU will have it. 90th meeting between these programs. First one was in 1897. Texas last year, 31-17 win in Austin. TCU had dominated in the years prior, though. They had won 4 previous meetings, all by at least 3 scores. And they have rolled Texas each of the last 2 meetings here.
Yeah, and you called that game a year ago, and that was 16-10, nearly in the 4th quarter, where Colin Johnson caught a huge touchdown pass, and then they really stepped on the accelerator in the 4th quarter. Quarterback issues the last few years for Gary Patterson. Played good enough defense to win a bunch more ball games, but just have to get more consistency from under center.
Freshman quarterback Max Duggan hands it off to Shewa Olanalua. He gets 5 for more on Duggan. Here's Bruce Feldman.
Joe, landing Max Duggan out of Iowa was quite a coup for TCU. This is a kid who had a lot of recruiting traffic. Had Georgia, had Penn State. The Penn State coaches thought he might be another Trace McSorley. Sonny Cumbie really liked him, and they just felt like it was a really good fit. Cumbie had an interesting comparison for him. He said, you know, just a really, really mature, intense kid. Reminds him a lot of his old teammate Cliff Kingsbury in terms of his makeup.
2nd down and 5. Handed off again. Olanalua. Oh, Duggan delivering a block to spring him for a 1st down. Wow, some of that intensity that Bruce is talking about manifests in a block from Duggan.
And now, what do you expect from a kid from Iowa? Iowa Gatorade State Player of the Year, coach's son. He actually, I think, had his eyes further downfield to look at the corner, but gets in the way for a good block.
Back to Olanalua. Now, it's a good thing, right? Intensity. He's a perfectionist. Those are good qualities. But at the quarterback position, it could also work against you.
It's a fine line. And the one thing that's jumped out to me a little bit is deliberate.
He's going to keep it here, and he will slide down with Deshaun Jameson bearing down on him.
Deliberate in delivery, right? Just wanted to make sure that you're confirming everything you see rather than playing with some anticipation. And it is hard as a true freshman, right? You want to get everything right. You want to make all the calls. You do, as you said earlier, you want to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You just got to be right.
That's been Sonny Cumbie's message to him. We'll let that 1st quarter clock wind down, and they'll discuss this 3rd down and 5 play as we get ready for the 2nd. 3-3 after a quarter in Fort Worth. Back on Fox College Football, sponsored by Volkswagen. Drive something bigger than yourself after a quarter, tied at 3. Pretty even so far in every measure. Both teams with 1 turnover. Each team getting an interception. And the 2nd quarter begins with a 3rd down and 5 for TCU. It's been almost exclusively on the ground so far for the Horned Frogs. 13 of their first 16 plays have been run plays. On 3rd and 5, they'll look to throw. Extra man comes for Texas. Duggan gets rid of it, but incomplete, off of the hand of Tay Barber. But there is a flag down with perhaps a call on Keandre Coburn, hitting Duggan late.
Yeah, in driving, I think driving the freshman into the ground.
A personal foul, roughing the passer by number 99 of the defense.
So not as much late.
15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
As it was the way that he finished.
And we saw the contact earlier, Roach to the helmet. And I said to you during break, they're letting these guys play. Yeah, I don't think it's late. I think it is this move right there of just driving 330 pounds into the turf.
Now, throwback guys, traditionalists are not going to like that call at all. But
And Tom Herman doesn't like that call. The only thing he's going to say is if you're going to call it that way and my guy Ellenberg takes a hit like that later, you better be consistent.
So the penalty gives him a first down to the 31. Very light box on 1st and 10. And the Horned Frogs will look to take advantage. Duggan on the replay pulls it, cuts it upfield, and gets popped by Juwan Mitchell, but he gets 8, and it's 2nd and short.
Yeah, you know, we had Dean Blandino in the booth. Remember the USC-Utah game? And, you know, back to that penalty, and you'll see an excellent read here by Duggan, the easy read. By rule in college football, unlike the NFL, that's an obvious. You can't drive the player into the ground. But in college, it's not necessarily by rule named that way, but if they feel it's excessive, right? Unwarranted, excessive, a personal foul, they have the liberty to call that penalty.
2nd and 2. 5 blockers on 4 men in the box. Solanalua, first down, TCU. And at this point, Texas giving them the run.
Well, 15 runs and 4 passes. Yes, they're giving them the run, but this is also clearly the plan. That you want to attack that group that has been run on this season, and Texas, by and large, not giving up the explosive run. By and large, is tackled fairly well, and in fact should have been off the field on that 3rd down without the penalty. But you see Sonny Cumbie and crew determined to set the tone between the tackles.
Much more crowded inside defensively for Texas here on 1st and 10. From the 18-yard line, there's Rager in motion. It's a lead play. Duggan reversing, and Malcolm Roach. Couple of nice plays early on in this game. The senior from Upper Marlboro, Maryland.
Yeah, not surprised to see the senior captain responding. Right, a big slice of humble pie was served in Austin last weekend with the Kansas Jayhawks going up and down the field. Who was going to take some pride? You've seen Osai sideline to sideline, and Malcolm Roach has been a factor through the first 17 minutes as well.
Missed the first half during that humble pie eating game last week after the Targan penalty. He's in the middle of it again. Roach throws down Tay Barber on the sweep.
Well, you've got to block him. Right, you're going to see right guard, right tackle here. There's just some miscommunication. You let him go. That can't happen. Right, one of those two has at least got a slow play. Right, you're trying to deceive a senior captain that's seen just about everything. But the one thing you can't do is let that big man get ahead of steam.
That's already 3 tackles for loss for Malcolm Roach, and it makes it 3rd and 17. See if they let the freshman quarterback go for it, if they just play conservatively, look for the field goal. He's looking end zone, wants it all. It's a touchdown. Pro Wells from 24 yards on 3rd and 17.
Well, we saw the interception earlier on a seam route, and this time there's going to be no middle defender that gets underneath this seam. But in fact, that's safety right here. And if you're Orlando, you are thinking you have got to make this play. You have got to undercut. That ball is in the air an awful long time, and I guarantee you, if that's Caden Stearns, if that's Chris Brown, if that's one of the veterans, they go and get it. They don't, and TCU capitalizes.
And so TCU able to take advantage of the 3rd down penalty on Keandre Coburn. It's Pro Wells, his 4th touchdown on 8 catches this year, and TCU leads for the first time. Eight catches for Pro Wells this season, 4 of them for touchdowns. It leads TCU, and the Horned Frogs lead for the first time.
Will that be slugging percentage? Pretty good slugging percentage.
Yeah,
some damage being done.
It gets paid these days. Number 10 for Duggan. That matches Andy Dalton for the most by a freshman in TCU history. The thing where there's a huge edge for Duggan is that Andy Dalton had 11 interceptions during that freshman season, and Duggan has thrown just one. It was earlier today. Cole Bunce kicks it out of the end zone. Yeah, back at that touchdown throw.
We start the show today just talking about that depleted secondary, and Montrell Estelle here. He's the quarter safety. He's got a quarter of the field, and you're going to see Pro Wells, the tight end, run that vertical. At that point, you got to pull the trigger, right? And you can't be in between. Right, that's just one of those situations where you either got to play the body and knock it away at the end, or if you're going to go for this pick and you're going to pull that trigger, then it's got to be full speed. But you're talking about a kid in Estelle that was the third string safety coming into this season, forced into action because of all the injuries, and TCU makes him pay.
5 DBs out because of injury this afternoon for Texas. Ingram on first down. Big hole off the left side, and he's got a dozen. Stopped by Vernon Scott, but there is a flag down.
Holding by number 73 of the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty and still first down.
That's a left guard, Parker Braun. All-conference performer, transfer from Georgia Tech. It's right here. And he's locked up in a one-on-one situation with Garawalo and his tug of the jersey.
It's already 4 penalties on Texas, which has been an issue for him this year. Second most penalized team in the conference. Sam Ehlinger started this game hot. 4 of his first 4. He's 0 of his last 5. He's facing pressure. He's got a one-on-one and takes advantage with Colin Johnson. But another flag down. Cooper Castleberry, who's in his 42nd year as an official. 42nd and final, and earning that paycheck so far today. Maybe a face mask on Scott.
A personal foul, grabbing the face mask by number 26 of the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty, and it's a first down.
Moves it all the way to TCU territory.
Corner blitz. You bring Gladney off the corner, and it leaves a safety in a one-on-one. Corners can't cover Colin Johnson in a one-on-one, and that time Scott could not get around the big frame. When pressed, and you saw it last week in the game-winning drive, 3 receptions to Colin Johnson. You saw it in this matchup a year ago. When pressed, you know where Ehlinger's going with the ball. It's big number 9.
He's been slowed by a hamstring injury this season. Here's Ingram's stop and start, gets a few. Johnson getting healthy, and it's been really good lately. Time for a game break. Here's Sam. It's hard to figure much out in the Big 12 this year, isn't it? Really across college football.
And Ehlinger trying to figure out that coverage right now. Lots of check with me in the run-pass game.
Well protected here. He'll float one down the seam. Perfectly thrown, and Duvernay's in. Touchdown, Texas. A 47-yard strike.
Well, we saw those 2 earlier miss on a little option route for an interception. You're not going to miss on that, and it's Duvernay's speed. It is the second gear here, right there, out of his cut. A little out cut right to the vertical. And those 2 have largely been on the same page this year. Duvernay, the country's best in receptions per game, puts another touchdown on the board. And that move by him from outside into the slot plays perfectly his senior year into his skill set. Been a monster.
This game is tied at 10. These teams matching one another so far. Field goal, touchdown, touchdown. Fox College Football is presented by Volkswagen. Drive something bigger than yourself. All tied up at 10 here in Fort Worth. Joe Davis, Brock Heward, Bruce Feldman. Devin Duvernay, former track champion in high school. He had one-on-one, and they took advantage with a perfect throw.
What a great move by the staff to put his skill set in position. He was fine outside playing split end, but he is so much better in the league at the next level. Covets that skill set, the quickness to get in and out, and then the ability to just press it vertically. And Duvernay is a blast to watch. It was very surprising to see that interception earlier. Just some miscommunication because he and Ellinger have been spot on this season.
Well, who would have thought that move that they made one day before camp, moving him to the slot, would lead to this? One of the best in the country so far this year. Jalen Reagor hitting the seam hard. Tripped up as he crossed the 20. The ball comes out. Did the ground force it, or do they say this is indeed a fumble? There is no signal yet. The officials coming together. Ground forced it, no question. We'll see what the call is on the field, but one way or another, this is going to be TCU ball. They're going to say Texas football, but
the ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the kicking team. First down.
So they say that it's a fumble. I guess the one question becomes, was it his forearm or was it his wrist? Because the wrist is an extension of the hand.
Correct.
And if it's his wrist that hits the ground, it is a fumble.
The ruling of the fumble is under further review.
The wrist bone's connected to the forearm bone.
And yeah.
Football's connected to the. Where is this? Is this the wrist or is it the forearm?
You know what? Based on that, I think this is the right call. Dean Blandino, our rules expert, watching in Los Angeles. What do you think, Dean?
Yeah, well, Brock, you definitely paid attention in anatomy class, right? We've got the wrist connected to the hand, and it would be the forearm or the elbow. That's what we're looking for. The right wrist hits. It looks like the ball comes loose at that point. I'm looking at that left forearm as well. They ruled fumble. I haven't seen anything that's going to allow them to change that ruling.
That's a good point you bring up, Dean. The left forearm. We're focused on the right hand where the ball is, but does the left forearm come down? It's close. But again, key as always is the call on the field is fumble.
Isn't that amazing, those officials? Their ability to see that. And Jalen is one of the fastest. He and Duvernay are both 10-2, 10-3, 100-meter guys. And for those officials to be on the spot so quickly, as fast as that is moving, and be able to gather together and make that call and determine at that point it is the wrist. And I just don't think there is enough there with that left forearm to overturn this.
Cooper Castleberry on the phone to Gene Semko, the replay official.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, Texas.
And so the second TCU turnover of the game sets Texas up at the 25-yard line. Great job by the officiating crew to get it right on the field. It's confirmed by replay, and from the 26 officially, the Longhorns take over. On first down to the short side, Ingram. Not much there. He gets maybe a yard. 2nd and 9 coming up.
This is where I got to be very concerned about Colin Johnson and Duvernay. Those two guys cannot beat me right now. You're in the high red zone. And if you're Tim Beck and you're Tom Herman on that side, where is the matchup advantage? Where is the two that have done so much damage the last couple years to this TCU secondary?
2nd and 9. Ellinger off play action, gets rid of it just in time, and there is Colin Johnson. So they did take advantage of the big target. His 3rd catch already, goes for 15.
Yeah, he likes this matchup. He's liked it the last few years, and he likes it his hamstring, and you could see his legs. He's just back to 100%. And TCU just does not have an answer on the perimeter for his size.
Ellinger rolling, turning the shoulders, eyes on the end zone, lets it go, and it's broken up by Gladney. What a good matchup that is. Colin Johnson against Jeff Gladney, TCU's most experienced player.
Well, that is where the undersized DB can make it happen, running across the field. Does a nice job, is allowed to have that right hand on the hip as long as he doesn't turn the receiver. And the savvy senior knocks it away at just the right time. It's the blockouts, it's the jump balls, right? It's when Colin can get that DB on his back, it's advantage Longhorns.
Bunch of pre-snap window dressing here for Texas in front of this 2nd and 10 play. They go back to the ground. Ingram stopped by Scott. 3rd and 7.
Been a lot of QB run in these situations. Whether it's going to be a designed QB run here with a draw, or whether you just remind Ellinger right here, make sure you keep the play alive with your legs.
Out of an empty set on 3rd and 7.
Bringing pressure.
Ellinger floating, end zone, incomplete. Taden Johnson jousting with Jeff Gladney. And after he had a reception for a 15-yard gain earlier on the drive, Gladney wins the last 2 matchups.
Yeah, and you got to get in the body. If you're undersized and you're giving up 4 or 5 inches and 20, 30 pounds, a savvy play once again by Gladney to get right into the body of Johnson early and not allow him to block you out. Well done.
Another opportunity for Cameron Dicker. Made his first one today. Here's another chip shot, 26 yards. He hooks it. No good. A rare point-blank miss from the all-conference place kicker Cameron Dicker. And the game stays tied at 10. All right, Mike, TCU able to dodge a bullet there. The turnover on special teams doesn't lead to anything as Cameron Dicker misses the 26-yard field goal. Horned Frogs back on offense. Duggan into the flats. And Carter Ware gets hit promptly by Brandon Jones.
Well, they're playing hard. That was going to be exactly what Texas wanted to see. As the kicker looks on, and I think Cameron thinking, well, good thing I didn't hit that kick for the game winner against Kansas a week ago. Flushed that one. We were talked an awful lot about these Longhorns and knew what we had in Sam Ellinger. Would they be able to play defense? Would they be able to pull the trigger? Would there be much more effort on this side of the ball? And definitively, the answer has been yes in this first half.
It's 103 yards for TCU so far. Midway point of the 2nd quarter. Texas showing pressure off of the edge of the top. They're going to run into it. Darius Anderson trying to get around the corner. Estrell hit him first, and then Jalen Green angled him out, 3rd and short.
They've done it a number of times with their corners today. Boyce, Jamison, all of them. Estelle that time chasing the play down, but that corner being very active in the run game. Making sure there's enough eyes committed defensively to play as a whole unit. Something that was a challenge for Todd Orlando's crew a week ago.
A week after giving up 638 yards to Kansas, 109 so far against TCU. And they're reading the same clips and hearing the same things that fans are throughout the week. They know that they're looked at as the weak link. Taking some pride in it. On 3rd and short, blown up by Marquez Bimage. The junior from Brenham, Texas, makes it 4th down, and they are playing really well so far.
Yeah, look at the late line stuff. A, I like that. B, look at the penetration of your big nose tackle. He forces that run to bounce just a little bit. Want to run it between the tackles. Coburn gets the push, and Bimage gets the finish. That is team defense. What you did not see a week ago. Could not defeat blocks. We're getting blown off the ball. Not the case in Fort Worth this afternoon.
And this is against one of the top run offenses in the country. Sandy to punt it. Jake Smith waiting back. They're coming after it. He gets rid of it, but it is a bad one. Out of bounds, not even reaching midfield. So Texas with great field position and a 10-10 game when you come back.
Texas is a place
Fox College Football is sponsored by Charles Schwab. Own your tomorrow. And by AT&T. All tied up at 10. You mentioned it a few minutes ago, Brock, but Coach Herman said in 20 years of coaching, Sam Ehlinger is the most improved he's ever seen in terms of mechanics over the course of his career.
Yeah, look at him 2 years ago to today. It is just getting on top of the football. He was a pusher of the football 2 years ago. Not anymore. And by getting on top of the football, he's so much more accurate, especially these shots down the field. That was the touchdown pass. It's hard to change your mechanics, man. Really hard. So much muscle memory. It takes an incredible amount of effort. That's exactly what Sam has done in his 3 years in Austin.
And a lot of times when a guy gets to the college level and he's playing, right, you're not even going to touch it. But they've worked really hard, and Sam's worked really hard to revamp those mechanics. That's going to be a false start on the right guard, Anguila.
A false start by number 75 of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still first down.
Bruce, you've got more on the junior quarterback.
I do, a little more superlative. So Larry Fedora, a longtime head coach, is an analyst at Texas. I talked to him before the game. He said, in my 30-plus years of coaching college football, Sam Ehlinger is the smartest football player he's ever been around in terms of adjustments and seeing things. That's pretty high praise.
And Sam says that is his biggest growth this year, the way he's able to see things. Out of a collapsing pocket, throws incomplete. It was Ross Blacklock. They hit him as he let it go.
And it really is the natural maturation that comes with experience. That, you know, early on, you're just trying to understand your own offense. And we're watching that on the other side with the true freshman. But then you get to a point where you own it, every last detail of what you want to do, and you start to attack what the other group is trying to do to you. You see it at the NFL level, and with a guy that's now played 3 years collegiately, Sam's made enormous strides.
He said as he's become more comfortable knowing all those things, he's much more decisive. Decides to spike that thing into the ground on the screen with Garrett Wallow bearing down on him. TCU all over that screen pass, making it 3rd and 15.
Yeah, speaking of decisive, that's what this TCU defense has been at times. Done a nice job against some of that pass, the late delayed blitz, but then the awareness to take care of the running back as well. Nowhere to go with the ball, and a big 3rd and 10 as the stadium comes alive.
Pressure coming on 3rd and long. Ehlinger heaving, far side of the field. John Bird is out of bounds with the coverage from the freshman Keon Stewart.
You've seen these corners do a nice job against the bigger receivers. You've got to get into their body. You've got to use the extra defender, which is that boundary. The senior Burt does not give Ehlinger enough room to keep that ball in play. It sails wide. That's a big 3 and out from one of the country's best defenses at forcing them off the bad punt. Job well done by the Horned Frogs.
Yeah, that punt, by the way, officially was just 14 yards. And so TCU able to avoid points against them after the 14-yard punt, able to avoid it after the turnover. It says tied at 10. As Jalen Rager runs up on this one. It bounces inside the 10. Well done by Ryan Buchevsky, and down to the 2 by Brandon Jones. Time for our Drive Bigger moment of the game, brought to you by Volkswagen. Drive something bigger than yourself. Here's Bruce.
Joe, TCU reserve offensive lineman Kelton Hollins is the president of an organization called Spark. It's an organization started by TCU football players to provide motivation for local youth on the importance of education and working in the community. In May, he actually spent 2 weeks in South Africa studying and doing some women's empowerment programs. He's been accepted into grad school here. He's going to get his master's, and he told me he plans to get his PhD, wants to be a professor. I asked him, where does all this come from? He said, college is such a beautiful place. I've had great mentors, so why not do that for other people? One other thing, guys on the teammates joke, or at least kind of say, this guy is going to be the future governor of the home state Louisiana someday, and he doesn't really shy away from that.
Oh, great stuff, Bruce. TCU backed up here from its own 2. Out of the shotgun, it's Anderson getting just 1. He got tripped up by Jalen Green, who Texas gets back this week. And we talk about all the injuries in the secondary. Green has missed the last 3 games with a dislocated shoulder that he suffered against LSU. So they put a few more guys on the shelf. Very excited to get Green back.
And once again, that is the corner all the way from the field that has eyes into the backfield. An adjustment TCU has to make is take advantage of these corners that have been very active in the run game.
Not a comfy spot for anybody here. How about a freshman quarterback? 2nd and 9 from his own 3. He'll look to throw out of his own end zone. Yeah, it's incomplete. Nowhere close to Valence Hunt, who is defended by Green. And it's 3rd and 9.
What a difference a couple punts make, right? In a closely contested game, and good coverage by Green on that out route. But you see the punt there by TCU for 14 yards, and it just puts their backs for Sonny Cumbie and his freshman right up against the wall as Texas executes on their side. Phase of the game we spend nearly enough time talking about is that special teams phase and the valuable real estate you can gain and lose.
Longhorns trying to take advantage of Buchevsky's great punt. 3rd and 9. Against a 3-man rush, he's in trouble. Able to keep it alive. Duggan with his eyes downfield. Needs the 12. He's going to get there. 1st down TCU. He was dead to rights in the end zone, but able to get away to extend the drive.
And you sit with Sonny and Gary yesterday, and these are the kind of plays that just put a smile on their face. An excellent rush by Roach. Nearly gets home. He goes to the face mask. You can see the adjustment. Yeah, that's got to be called there. The wherewithal by the freshman to readjust the helmet, to reset, to know where he is on the field, and then enough athleticism to gain those 10 yards.
Huge play there as they try to shift the field position at the very least. Fresh set of downs from the 14. They just barely get it off. Here comes Alana Lua. Time for a game break. We send it back to Los Angeles.
Top 10 showdown in the SEC, and number 2 LSU first to find the end zone. Joe Burrow to Terrace Marshall Jr. 20-yard touchdown. It's Burrow's nation-leading 30th touchdown pass of the season. LSU up 7-3 on number 9 Auburn in the 2nd quarter. Back to Joe and Brock.
All right, Sam, tied at 10 here. 4.5 left to go in the first half. 2nd down and 7. Alana Lua again. He got hit at the line of scrimmage by Keandre Coburn. 3rd down.
That big man has done some damage today. And unfortunately, playing hard. Personal foul earlier kept the touchdown drive alive, but you have seen him a number of times with the penetration, the early movement. He's a 4-star, top 10 defensive tackle recruit, just a puppy. And he has gotten into the body of Coy McMillan, and really the interior people for TCU cannot move him.
340 pounds. The Energizer Bunny, Tom Herman calls him. Said he has 2 speeds, full and off. 3rd down 6. Able to convert with Duggan running the last time. He'll float it. He's got Tay Barber off his fingertips. Missed opportunity for the Horned Frogs. It's 4th down.
And what a wonderful design here. You're going to see it out of the backfield. Comes the wheel route. Can't design it any better. And I actually like the air on the ball. That was the point of emphasis this week for Max Duggan. Felt like he missed some shots down the field without enough air on it. Could have even put a little more for Tay Barber, who's getting his legs back underneath him after being banged up for the majority of the year. Fingertips away from a huge 3rd down catch.
New punter in here. Dylan Jones, his first punt of the season. After the bad one the last time from Jordy Sandy. This one really good. It's dropped by Jake Smith. He's able to get on top of it, and Texas' miserable punt return unit stays that way on a 54-yard punt. If you haven't had a chance to catch Friday Night SmackDown on Fox yet, now's your chance to see what all the buzz is about. It's the live primetime spectacle that has millions of viewers on their feet every Friday night, including the Hayward household. The new era of Friday Night SmackDown, only on Fox.
You know, you learn, you live and learn. And a couple weeks ago, we did this, and I screamed and yelled. I lost my voice for nearly the rest of the broadcast. So I'm not going to lose my mind, but you better be watching on Friday nights.
Why? I kind of like it when you lose your mind. Yeah. Let it out. Tell us how you really feel. 1st and 10 from the 17. 3:22 left to go. Special teams have played a big role in this game so far. The field continues to shift. On 1st and 10, Ellinger to throw against a 4-man rush. They're still able to get home, and there's some of the pressure TCU's desperately been looking for. Corey Bethley gets the sack.
Well, that was the guy that Coach Patterson talked about specifically that needed to be a factor. And once again, it is the movement up front. It is a line stunt. Ellinger tries to step up into that pressure. But if this crew with their secondary can rush 4 and affect the passer over the second half of the season, they are going to be very difficult to be efficient against.
Number 3 in the country in sacks under Gary Patterson. 90th this year. Ellinger down the sideline. Johnson incomplete. Coverage again from Gladney. And it's 3rd and 16 for Texas.
He's a good one. He's going to play at the next level. He likes going up against the very best. He's scrappy. He's tough. Colin got the better of him in this matchup a season ago. And while Johnson's made a few catches today, Gladney's won his battles as well.
4'3", 40 guy. He squats more than 600 pounds. He benches 400. We're talking about a 180-pound corner benching 400 pounds. 3rd and 16 for the Longhorns. Closing minutes of the first half. And 3rd and long. They'll trust the veteran quarterback. Steps into pressure. Wants Johnson. He's got it. Inbounds and a first down.
Wow. That was an incredible throw. 5-man rush bearing down into Ellinger. He has one spot to throw it. The guts to throw that on 3rd and 16, and then ultimately the trust to believe your big receiver can make a play big time.
Easier to trust when the guy on the other end is 6'6" like Johnson. They're going to blow this one dead. Yeah, take a look on replay.
The ruling on the field is under further review.
So just over the top of Jeff Gladney. Let's see, did Colin Johnson control this? Did he control it before that right foot taps out of bounds? Dean, what do you see, my friend?
Appears to still be on the ground, inbounds. It's close, but I do to still be on the ground, inbounds. It's close, but I do to still be on the ground, inbounds. It's close, but I do to still be on the ground, inbounds. It's close.
I think Dean is broken. Some water in the wiring. Man. It is really close.
Really close. Does that left foot stay down on the ground while he adjusts that? Right, and this is where the call on the field, I think, is so essential.
So the real question becomes, at what point does he have control?
Yep. When he threw that ball, Ellinger, I thought there is no way. Gladney is dropping underneath that corner out. There are 2 Horned Frogs there. There was one spot
After
to put
further
it.
review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
So a big throw and catch. Sam Ellinger to Colin Johnson. 25 yards and a first down for Texas. And for Colin Johnson, after the big game against TCU last season, 4 catches for 83 yards here in the first half. They're in the 2-minute mark. They bring just 4 again. Ellinger steps up, throws a wobbler, but it's to a wide open Duvernay and a first down inside the 40. But he came loose for a gain of 28.
So heads up here. Young quarterback takes off and runs. Veteran quarterback, the game slows down. His eyes never leave the target down the field. Big play.
Right back to Duvernay on the bubble this time. Steps out of the tackle attempt of Mayrig. That's how he's gotten a lot of his catches this season. In the quick game on the bubble. Turns this one into a nice gain. And the Texas tight end Cade Brewer is hurt.
Duvernay is so strong. I mean, he is just such a weapon. And that's a significant weapon at tight end down for the Longhorns as well.
Okay, Brewer gets rolled up on that play, and the junior tight end, who's really played well lately, it's helped off.
It's Trayvon Merrick that's coming in to make that tackle. You see that left lower leg and ankle get buckled under. Brewer's doing his job. You're blocking. That's all you can do. Merrick flying in for the tackle. Unfortunate injury there for the Longhorns.
For a guy who has an ACL injury in his past, a couple years ago. 2nd down and 2 for Texas. Here's Ingram swinging out of the backfield. Got a couple of great blocks and hit the sideline for a 1st down. Blocks out there from Jared Wiley, who replaced Cade Brewer, and John Burt.
Gosh, you just see a quarterback that knows exactly what he wants to do and how he wants to attack. This is just an extended sweep play. Excellent effort as you see Brewer's replacement come in there, the true freshman Wiley. But Ellinger in complete control of how he wants to attack this TCU defense.
1st and 10. They fake the flip into the short side. End zone for Johnson. Goes up the ladder, but incomplete. Again, it's Johnson against Gladney. I don't know about you, but I can't wait for another half of this matchup.
Yeah, and then you're going to get it. You're going to get 4 or 5 more of these opportunities, just one-on-one situations. This is what you call good on good, best on best. And just by inches, Collins out of bounds.
2 of the best players at their respective positions in the Big 12, head-to-head right there.
I love the grass stains on that receiver's jersey.
2nd down and 10. Ellinger, wide open Ingram, touchdown Texas to retake the lead. Out of the backfield for a 17-yard score.
Well, this is just a total bust. Something you don't see out of the backfield very often from TCU. Some miscommunication here. Doesn't get any easier. This is a TCU defense that's solid in so many spots, Joe. But this is the one area, red zone defense, where they're at the bottom of the conference. It doesn't make a lot of sense because they don't make those mental errors and those busts. And if you do that against Ellinger and company, you're going to pay.
Yeah, Texas as well equipped to exploit red zone defensive issues as anybody. One of the top 5 teams in the country at converting trips into the red zone into touchdowns. Darius Anderson on the kick return for TCU. There are flags down as he brings it back across 25. It's a long discussion on this one.
During the return, an illegal block in the back by number 18 of the return team. The penalty is half the distance to the goal, and it's 1st down.
And so again, Gary Patterson's team is going to be backed way into its own end with just 1:04. So back-to-back touchdowns for Texas after they trailed this game 10-3. And Sam Ellinger has passed Vince Young on the all-time touchdowns list in Texas history.
Those are 3 pretty good ones, huh?
Man, pretty good company for a guy who grew up dreaming of being the Texas quarterback, as Longhorn fans well know at this point. Empty set for Duggan. Corrals a low snap. It's across in Alanalua, who's got a 1st down to the 23. And all 3 timeouts for TCU. They're going to roll to the dice for the freshman quarterback, see what they can do here.
Well, especially against an inexperienced secondary, you've got to take your shots down the field.
They rush only 3. And so tight windows. Finds a hole in one in John Stevens. Choosing not to use the first of those.
I think you got to take that time out there, don't you, and save the 7, 8, 9, 10. Well,
at least.
Too late now.
Clock runs all the way down to 30 seconds. 2nd and 2, another low snap. Another crosser. It's to Valence Hunt. Now, you would assume they'll use the timeout, and they do. 22 seconds. That is really odd that they didn't use one on the prior play. 2 of them left. 22 seconds left in the half. Coming up, stay tuned for Mike Hill, Robert Smith, and the State Farm halftime show. Busy day of college football to get you caught up on. 22 seconds left to go in the first half here. Next, Duggan and the Horned Frogs. 2 timeouts remaining. Texas brings a little heat here. Duggan finds Hunt again, racing for the sideline. He's got it. Tripped up by Mitchell. The clock stops at 15 seconds. Well, they do have a long field goal specialist looking ahead to that, Griffin Kell, who's hit from 50 in his football career back in high school nearby Arlington. They need to get to the 33 to get to that range. So about 15 yards away from that. On 1st and 10, 15 seconds. Another corner blitz coming from Texas. And doing that all afternoon. It's picked up. Duggan for Barber. Jones stops him. And here comes the second Horned Frog timeout.
TCU calls their second timeout. 30-second timeout.
So 8 seconds. It gives you time for one more play. Try to set it up for a field goal.
Yeah, one thing I like that you've seen here today from Sonny Cumbie and Max Duggan, a lot of that pre-snap, right? And many times in the old days, you used to do it with your own cadence. Well, now you're doing it with that clap. So they have really operated well, trying to get Texas to show what they're doing. But to be honest, through the first 30 minutes, Joe, I think very loudly and quietly at times, that front D line of Texas, rushing 3, has handled that O-line and makes life difficult for Sonny Cumbie and Max Duggan. They know what's coming. They're clapping their hands. You're many times seeing the blitz. You're seeing the corner. You're seeing what Tom Herman and the Longhorns want to do on that side of the ball. But it's just been the ability to really protect. It's been the challenge.
We saw Jonathan Song, who is usually TCU's place kicker. His career long is 46. Anything 45 or longer, typically going to have Kel handle, though. From here, it'd be a 59-yarder. Trying to get another little chunk. Incomplete. Miscommunication with Rager. Only 3 seconds run off. There's a borderline, right? Can you run a quick route? Use the timeout. Be borderline. There's some people that were surprised Sam Ehlinger in Texas ran the extra play to set it up a little bit closer before the final field goal from Dicker last week. What are you doing? Quick little play?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you've got to try to throw a little quick out, something to the boundary.
Texas giving it to you, protecting against the long ball. And now a timeout taken by Texas.
Once in a while, I'll circle a play, right? And over the course of the game, in that 3rd and 16, the Tom Herman dialed up to throw it and push it down the field was such a huge play. Right, the willingness on 3rd and 16. How many times on 3rd and 16, 10-10 game on the road, do you see, we'll just run it, right? QB run or draw or something like that, and instead, nope, that shows the ultimate trust you have in your quarterback. That was 3rd and 16 at their own 20-yard line, and they will get the ball before half. And that is what Gary Patterson said about defending Sam Ehlinger. I've got to throw everything at him. He's gotten to the point in his development and his game where if I show him one look or he sees a pre-snap, he's going to gash me. And that was an awfully big play on the touchdown drive. Is again, they will get the ball to begin the second half.
Up 17-10 at this point. 5 seconds. And again, the corners play way off, so if they want a quick hitter to the outside, they can have it. Instead, with the timeout, they go right up the middle and use that timeout with 1 second. Second reception of the drive for John Stevens, and that does put it at least into conceivable range. Should be a 52-yarder here.
It's well done. Other than letting about 10 seconds burn off early in that drive by not calling a timeout, couldn't really done much more. At least give yourself a shot.
So how about Griffin Kell from nearby Arlington High School? True freshman, preferred walk-on. Got a very efficient guy in Jonathan Song, just doesn't have the biggest leg. And so Kell will try this one officially from 52. Timeout. And he's happy about that.
Texas calls their second timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
You wonder if Gary Patterson sees that and says, maybe we should just throw a Hail Mary.
You know, I was actually watching them kick in warm-ups, and it's not very often you've got two quality kickers. And, well, that's what Gary's talking about right now after you watch that attempt, to your point. But I watched him in warm-ups. He was making it from this spot, this exact spot in warm-ups. He was good. The wind looks like it's still blowing a little bit, but certainly not a significant factor.
Get some coaching from the veteran Song. He's saying, keep your eyes down.
Yep.
Eyes on the ball, Griffin.
True freshman. Always learning.
He's only attempted 2 in mop-up duty. It's another opportunity here at 52. Final play of the first half. Kell steps into it. Did he get it? You bet he did, with plenty to spare. Kept his eyes on the ball and drilled it from 52.
Just like a good caddy, right? Keep your eyes down. Stay down on the ball. Don't look up. Trust your fundamentals, says the senior Song to his buddy, the true freshman, who just hits it perfectly.
Well done by TCU on the final possession there. 17-13 after a half. Now we go to Mike Hill for the State Farm halftime show. Back for the kick from Cole Bunce. 90th meeting between Texas and TCU. Got a good second half coming for you here on Fox. A fair catch from Smith. Texas will start at the 25, and here's Bruce Feldman.
Joe, Brock was spot on. When I talked to Gary Patterson a minute ago, he was very, very frustrated with his defense. Miscommunication. He said we blew 4 calls. That really frustrated him. He said we just got to play our defense. That's what he said over and over again. Play our defense. Play our defense. On the other side of the ball, Tom Herman was actually told me he was proud of how his defense has responded. Didn't love the last drive. He thought they let up a little bit. On offense, Herman says they really need to run the ball better, control the football a little more, but he was pleased with how his team is coming out and playing hard.
Yeah, 280 yards in that first half for the Texas offense. 211 of those 280 through the air. Empty set here on the first play of the second half. That's Ingram that swings across the formation, and a quick throw to Colin Johnson, going right back to him. Jeff Gladney quickly with a tackle.
Well, those two senior receivers, two captains with nearly 200 yards of total offense between them, and not a surprise to see Collins' number called right out the gate in the second half.
Johnson and Duvernay both with 5 catches now. Here's Ingram, 3rd and 1 here on the first drive of the second half. Ellinger looks to throw out of a collapsing pocket, able to sneak his way out. Ennis Gaines brings him down, but it looks like he gets enough.
And just again, a young quarterback panics when there's an unblocked defender. A veteran knows down and distance, and though Ennis Gaines is not picked up, you just don't see Ellinger flinch at all. Does the right thing and then has the strength to carry Gaines for the first down.
The play is under further review.
Let's take a look at the spot here. Replay booth's been busy.
How many years Mr. Castleberry been doing this?
42. Wow. 42nd and final year for him as an official.
That's awesome. We need more of them. Right? We need more officials and younger officials to be getting into this thing and gaining the experience, much like a quarterback. You know, there is no substitute for those reps and the number of snaps. Same deal with those officials as well. You see the unblocked defender. They're going to come off the edge. Ooh, where is that knee down in relation to where the football is? I think this is right by the replay to take another look at it. That knee is down. Where is the football in relation? I don't think it gets to the 35, Joe.
And it's spotted right on it, right on the 35. Does it hit right there as it sweeps through?
Yeah, I think the other shot showed it. And remember, they can pair those two frames together. I think the other shot definitively showed right there that knee is down.
For sure down there, and maybe even a touch before that, right? Is it like right there?
That's
maybe
close,
too
but
close.
That's definitive, and the ball is not to the yard marker at that point. And Sam is strong.
Squats 500 pounds. He cleans 300. That's ridiculous. Quarterback power cleans 300 pounds.
And in talking to Tim Beck, the OCQB coach on the field before the game, just looking at Sam, he said, you know, it's amazing. He's got up to about 236 pounds his freshman year. His freshman year, he's up to 236. Now he's stronger at about 225. And that's just being on those details, every last detail.
Big weight room guy. One of the many areas he's a leader for this team.
Boy, an awful lot of time being spent on this, but when you're talking about the opening series of the second half and the difference between more than likely punting the ball in a 3-and-out by TCU, and I think most of this time spent saying, hey, can you pair those two images together and get a definitive answer?
Let's find out.
After further review, the runner was down at the 34.5-yard line. It's fourth down.
Well, this has been a great job today between the crew on the field led by Cooper Castleberry and Gene Semko in the booth, getting things right.
Gary getting what he wanted, that 3-and-out coming out to begin the second half, and Ellinger knowing just inches away. Defeated really pre-snap there. The blitz, the unaccounted for defenders did all he could, but ultimately big 3-and-out for TCU.
Buchevsky had a good punt during the first half, pinned him down inside the 5. Then you hold your breath a little bit here if you're Texas, because the dangerous Jalen Rager's back, but they're going to fake it, and Buchevsky runs for a first down. The sophomore out of Australia converts on the fake punt.
How about the guts to run this? Right, many times when you've got the rugby style, this is almost built in, almost baked into the play, and those punters then have to make that decision. Right, you got a one-on-one situation there because you could still punt the ball conceivably, but instead he pulls the trigger aggressively. Tom Herman wanted his guys to cut it loose, and even in the special teams phase, getting it done.
So they convert on fourth down and inches with a fake punt, and send Ellinger back to throw again. To the outside, John Bird, a diving attempt, can't get it. We saw Cade Brewer, the tight end for Texas, leave the game earlier. Bruce, you've got an update on him.
Yeah, Joe, talking to their medical staff, he is done for the day. He is out with an ankle injury.
All right. And so we've seen more Jared Wiley, some Reese Lato as well. To the ground here, Ingram bounces to the outside, sticks the shoulder down and gets 6. Adam Plant Jr. the tackle, 3rd and 4 for Texas. Horned Frogs rush 4. Ellinger down the sideline. It is broken up by Scott. Vernon Scott the coverage on Devin Duvernay, and it's 4th and 3.
There's your one-on-one, and that is a matchup you're going to see over the remainder of this game, right in the slot. Senior on senior. Once again, good on good, and no panic from Scott. How many times do you see those DBs just panic and grab the confidence to find the ball, to get after it and to knock it down? And a little showmanship with yet another 3-and-out back-to-back to begin the second half.
So does Rager this time get an opportunity with Buchevsky? This time punting it. Coverage team down there quickly. Good job by Rager to deke him. That bounces into the end zone. And a touchback. And so TCU down 4 with its first possession of the second half on the other side of this break. Fox College Football is sponsored by Duluth Trading Company. Tough, ingenious workwear designed and tested by tradesmen. And by Geico. Happy Geico-ween. What have you thought so far today of the true freshman Max Duggan?
Pretty much what we've seen this season. Scrappy. First pass of the game against a 3-man rush. Gets a nice third down conversion. This too, a 3rd and 10 conversion. The 2 best third down offenses in this conference. Quarterbacks have a lot to do with that. And I thought that drive right before half, taking care of the football, was a big one. This is the obvious touchdown pass, the big play down the field. But as advertised, and the good news for TCU and Max, he's been a much better second half player than first half over the course of the season.
That final drive of the first half you referenced went 6 for 7. He had 4 completions over the previous 8 drives. He found some rhythm going into the break, leading to that field goal. Open up the second half, facing pressure. Duggan underneath. There's Tabe Barber. And you're talking about how much better he's been in the second half. They're trying to channel that, right? Why can't he just be this guy the whole game?
Because it's a whole lot easier once you get a feel and a sense for your opponent and their scheme.
Only 3 rush this time. He'll check it down. Darius Anderson runs by Jamison. That's a first down. Taking what Texas gives him. Back-to-back short completions to open the second half.
Yeah, right now there's been an awful lot of that 3 down front by Texas. That's similar to what they've done all year, but they've mixed a little bit of dropping 8, trying to bring some pressures. Those corners have been very active in the run game too.
Snapping before they were set up there. Duggan will take off with some room, but there's a flag down, and so this is coming back as Brandon Jones gets the tackle.
That's going to be on the left tackle.
But number 68 of the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty, and it's still first down.
Yep, Anthony McKinney.
And we have seen this a few different times when you just get the hands outside the frame. Let's see it right here. With the middle linebacker Mitchell coming, you get the hands outside the frame. It's pretty easy to see. And then upon the scramble, even a little tug of the jersey too. Hard when those guys scramble, right? It's much easier when you got a stationary quarterback than one that's going to be on the move. But as a tackle, you got to trust that and believe that.
First down and 20. Duggan again underneath. Adeli Adeoye with a tackle on Artavius Lynn. Tight end with his first catch today.
For a defense that missed 114 tackles on the season coming in. Not been many of them today.
Now, one of the worst tackling teams statistically in the country. Really showed up last week against Kansas. Gave up 638 yards in that game. TCU just now crossing 200 in this one. Texas showing pressure against the empty set. They bring 4. One of them is a free rusher in Mitchell that flushes him off his spot. He's able to get rid of it to a cross in Alanalua. Brandon Jones another tackle, and it's third down.
And again, a pretty sure tackle right there. That's the tackle in the open field. Longhorns were not making against the Jayhawks. Just 3 missed tackles in that first half. That's a win. D coordinators will tell you anytime you're under 7 missed tackles for a game in this day and age, college football, that's winning football.
Yeah, open field tackling, a bigger and bigger story, it seems like, every year, with so much more of the game played in the open field as each year goes on. They're down in 8. First TCU drive of this second half. Duggan looks to throw to the sideline. Did he get his foot down? No. John Stevens couldn't tap that foot, and so 4th and 8.
The right place to go. Pretty good anticipation, but the throw takes Stevens wide. I don't think there's any question about that.
Had him wide open. But a critical misfire there, and the punt team comes out.
2 steps forward, 1 back.
A lot of times the way you live when you get a freshman quarterback. Asked Texas that 2 years ago. Dylan Jones. This goes out of bounds. Texas with a 17-13 lead in the ball when you come back to Fort Worth. Fox College Football is sponsored by Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. Back in Fort Worth, and then there was one, and it was Baylor.
Of course.
Wow. With Oklahoma losing earlier today at Kansas State, the Bears, who are off this week, the last unbeaten in conference play.
How about those Kansas State Wildcats? Coach Kleiman, his first year there, and just watching the tape of this matchup a week ago, Kansas State, TCU, you just see a well-coached football team, and any week you hear it all the time. Every week matters in college football, and we have learned it with significant upsets the last 3 weekends.
From the 28-yard line, Texas begins this drive. Roschon Johnson, who carried it just once in the first half, lined up in the backfield. They flip it to him here. Not much room. He's pushed out of bounds by Garrett Wallow. Time for a game break with Amber Theo Harris.
21-20 in the third, Joe.
All right, Amber, short gain here as they flip it to John Burt. Keon Stewart, the tackle, third down.
Well, that's back-to-back snaps. You just can't do it any better. And when Gary Patterson's adamant to Bruce Feldman after the first half, we just got to play our defense. Those are the techniques he's talking about. You can't give Sam Ehlinger anything. You've got to play your defense. You got to know where your help is coming. And then ultimately on these downs and distances, you got to get one of the best in the country off the field.
How about Colin Johnson not on the field here? Again, he's still working his way back from that hamstring injury. Missed a few games because of that. Their best third down target on the sideline for this 3rd and 7. Ehlinger over the middle. He's got a first down and more with Duvernay. Devin Duvernay inside the 30, inside the 20, and inside the 10. Takes a big play and turns it into a huge play. 63 yards, 1st and goal.
Just an inside slant. You see the pressure, and Duvernay can do it all. And this is what he is equipped to do, a 10-300-meter guy, so difficult to tackle. You see the lower half, the strong legs, breaking tackles, huge play.
Right back to Duvernay. Gets just one this time into the arms of Jeff Gladney. That is the 4th play, Brock, of 20 or more yards for Devin Duvernay today.
Amazing. And I'm not going to use the words the coaching staff did to describe him and his style, but let's just say he's feisty and angry. That's the way he plays, which is exactly the way you want your slot receiver to play.
Quiet kid, but yeah, Tom Herman said mean and angry all the time. 2nd and goal. Duvernay goes out. Colin Johnson comes back on. He's got one-on-one coverage. I beg your pardon, he's to the near side. Ehlinger fakes the run, lobs it incomplete, looking for Reese Lato. It's the old Tim Tebow type play, huh?
Sure was.
Forever known as such.
I think he had a hard time gripping the ball, and then the upward energy took that ball way out of bounds.
Again, Texas, one of the best teams in the country at converting trips into the red zone into touchdowns. 3rd and goal from the 4th.
Watch the back.
Ehlinger, in zone, Johnson adjusts with a flag down. He's got it for a touchdown, but did he push off? And judging by the lack of celebration from Johnson, I think that he knows he's guilty.
Yeah, you can get away with it if you just keep that arm inside, right? If you almost use your forearm, but anytime you plant your hand on that chest plate and you use it to separate, you're going to draw the penalty. Just subtle. You got to be subtle with that movement.
An ineligible downfield player, number 56 of the offense. That penalty is declined. Pass interference, number 9 of the offense. That penalty is accepted. It's 3rd down.
Another big penalty, moves it all the way back to the 20.
Yeah, that was Shackelford, the center, that was in the end zone. But it was the obvious push-off there. You just got to be a little more subtle. Hard to do when you're 6'6".
So instead of 3rd and goal from the 4, 3rd and goal from the 20. Ellinger rolls. Lets it fly. Incomplete. Johnson defended tightly by Gladney. He was flushed off his spot. Ellinger was by Wyatt Harris, and the field goal team comes out.
Yeah, that is a big red zone stop for a Horned Frog defense that has struggled in that area of the field. That's now a couple of them today. And remember, Dicker missed the field goal, the chip shot earlier.
For Dicker, it was just his third miss this season. 9 of 12. This is his longest attempt today from 38, and it is perfect. So the lead is a touchdown for Texas midway through the third quarter.
7 minutes and 26 seconds remaining.
Well, before the NFL games kick off tomorrow, download the Fox Sports Super 6 app and play Super 6 NFL Sunday for free for a chance to win $250,000 of Terry Bradshaw's money. Why wouldn't you download it and take Terry's money? 20-13. Developing story in this game, Brock. Texas offensively turns red zone trips into touchdowns about 85% of the time on the season. That's top 5 in the country. 1 for 4 today. Touchdown, 2 made field goals, 1 missed. Jalen Reagor. I beg your pardon. Darius Anderson bringing it back. And TCU back on offense. We've seen Duggan get in rhythm the last couple of drives.
You're surprised that TCU has just not found any real rhythm in their run game. Right, this is a crew for Gary Patterson that's one of the best in the conference. They're running on the season for 240 yards a game. And really many times it's been a favorable box count. Now Texas is moving an awful lot post-snap. But for Cumbie and crew, the strength of this team is their run game, and Texas has largely neutralized it this afternoon.
Credit to those guys up front, Roach and Colburn and Graham. From the 30-yard line, Duggan to throw against pressure on first down. Underneath, it's Artavius Lynn, his second catch. And Duggan now 11 of his last 13.
And most of those under 10 yards. You've not seen the shot down the field. Texas has played fairly conservatively, those young safeties deep. But the guy at some point here over the final 22 minutes, Jalen Reagor has to be a factor. He is too dynamic. Freshman player of the year a couple years ago, has got to find a way to impact this game.
Not even on the field at this point. It's Barber and Hunt to the top. It's Mikel Barkley to the bottom of the screen as they hand it off to Shewa Olanalua. And the big back has a first down to the 45.
And that's about the first time where they've gotten movement at the point of attack. Texas has reset that line of scrimmage for one of the rare times, a little power concept pull, left guard, left tackle, and the 240 back actually had movement in front of him to move the chains.
Reagor does come into the game here. The bottom of the screen on 1st and 10 from the 45. Duggan has all day. Here's the deep ball. Tay Barber. First down and goal, TCU. A perfect strike. 51 yards to Barber.
I mean, you just know at some point you have to test the inexperience. This is the true freshman Owens. A beautiful double move by Barber, and then an even better job through contact to catch it.
Now it's Duggan towards the goal line, inside the 1, and it's 2nd and goal.
Boy, were they excited to get Tay Barber back. Second leading receiver as a true freshman a year ago. And finally, the opportunity to get after the inexperience in the Texas secondary. Not horribly played by Owens, just a better effort and a little more burst in speed by the super sophomore making an impact.
Duggan lost his shoe, and they're going to use this as an opportunity, it looks like, to go into the Wildcat. On 2nd and goal inside the 1, they will snap it to Shewa Olanalua. In the backfield with him, the tight end Pro Wells. Olanalua, 240-pounder, wants the snap. Gets it right side towards the end zone. Untouched. Touchdown Horned Frogs. Now with an extra point of a tie game in Fort Worth.
Yeah, watch the big right tackle right here. Lucas Niang, not a surprise. You're running behind some of your best people. Look at you set the edge. My goodness gracious. You don't see holes like that ever. Haven't seen it much in this game. But the right side of the line, and Lucas dominant, allowing Olanalua to find 6.
Extra point from Jonathan Song ties the game at 20. Been looking for some big plays through the air. Been looking for Tay Barber, really just his second game this season where he's been healthy. The big completion sets up Shewo Olanalua, and we are tied late in the third. Tied at 20, 5.5 left to go in this third quarter. Shewo Olanalua finishes off the key play in the drive, the 51-yard catch from Tay Barber.
It's about what we expected today. Look at these two teams, very evenly matched. Duggan, a guy we know that gets more comfortable with more game that goes on. The biggest players, some of the biggest stars coming in have shown up today. Pretty well played, highly contested game.
It's a touchback. Texas has started at 25 as we look back at the key play that set up the touchdown.
So many coordinators love to take shots between the 40s, and here's Tay Barber, and here's the key on this play. And he's going to run vertical, but the key is right here. He's going to double move and never lose speed. Look at the double move. See that? Watch that little subtle step on the true freshman. But so many times when guys make that move, they slow down. And they allow that safety to catch up. Tay does not. He never breaks stride. Owens does all he can. He even gets his hand near the reception point. But Tay Barber with the biggest play in his season, one that's been shortened by injury.
Guy that chose TCU over Clemson and Stanford. High hopes for him. Texas opens this drive with an Ellinger throw to Colin Johnson. Strong hands to hang on to that thing.
Pass complete to Johnson.
Jeff Gladney bearing down on him.
Those two have been going at it all day long, man.
It's been awesome. 6 catch for Johnson. Not a whole lot of room there for Ingram. Wyatt Harris, the tackle. We check in with Bruce Feldman.
Hey, Joe, injury update on Ryan Buchevsky, who executed that fake punt about early in the third quarter. He is done for the rest of the game with a shoulder injury.
And in a tight game, as we often see, special teams typically play a big role. TCU trying to force Texas's hand into using the backup punter here. 3rd and 7. Ellinger steps up, zips one that gets picked off. Ardarius Washington, what anticipation for the redshirt freshman to get his 3rd pick.
Wow, this is big time. This is a true freshman in Jake Smith that's going to run the in-cut, but you're going to see the safety run the route for him. First of all, he gets bumped there by Wallow. That sets him off his route. And then the eyes and the wisdom. TCU scheme, Joe, it's so fun to study. They want 3-on-2. That's the essence of what Gary and Patterson's defense is. I want to rush 4 so I can have my 3-on-2 so they can read, so they can cut it loose, so they can react and make big plays like that. And Ellinger, I know, did not anticipate that safety running the route better than his true freshman slot receiver.
And now with a sudden change in the ball at the 44, you know, Texas would be on high alert for a shot play from TCU. They're bringing pressure. And Duggan looks over the top. Jalen Rager, bang, touchdown. And TCU takes the lead.
TCU has had the need for speed. That's a no contest. Eyes in the backfield for Deshaun Jameson, the corner, the young corner. He never feels the speedster blow right by him. Rager gives the young freshman quarterback plenty of room to throw that ball to. And we were calling for him a few minutes ago. Rager made his name known too.
One of the fastest players in the Big 12 shows off that 4.3 speed. Back-to-back long touchdown drives for TCU. Big strike here on a 27-20. 44-yard touchdown for Jalen Rager, who's had a frustrating season. I mean, this is a guy who last year caught 72 balls, more than 1,000 yards. But as they've struggled at quarterback, struggled to get in the passing game going, his numbers way down. They say that despite all that, he's continued to work really hard. He's continued to be a good leader. No complaining at all for him. And now the pressure put back on Sam Ehlinger in Texas, trailing for the first time since it was 10-3.
Yeah, and what Tom Herman told us this week, just about being a psychologist, right? Making sure the guys mentally are in the right place, the right space. Challenge here now over the final 19 minutes.
Following us tonight, Game 4 of the World Series. Houston Astros, Washington Nationals, as Houston tries to even the series up 2 games apiece.
The young secondary held their own in the first half. Didn't give up the big play, but a nice adjustment by Sonny Cumbie, by Gary Patterson's crew to say, no, enough is enough. Everybody else has been thrown at this Texas secondary. And finally, the Horned Frogs get their opportunity, and now Sam's got to flush it. Got to flush a couple interceptions, and especially that last one, and get back to basics.
Well, they sure looked calm, made it look easy when they fell behind in the final minutes last week against Kansas. Trying to come from behind here. Duvernay, double coverage, incomplete. Nearly intercepted again. Merrick and Stewart in coverage, and it's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, this Merrick's a good player. And Gary Patterson keeps trusting him in these one-on-one situations. Both guys have hands all over each other. There's no reason to throw out a penalty flag. They're both fighting and tussling. TCU's winning. They've won in the second half here. Defensively, they've been in lockdown mode this third quarter.
I know we talked about the big yardage totals, the big plays for Sam Ehlinger, but he at this point is well below 50%. Ingram a short gain. It was Gaines that stopped him, and it's 3rd and 9.
Yeah, well, they're not getting anything here. Tom Herman telling Bruce, got to get the run game going, and you're not. And because of it, you're living in 3rd and 7+. That movement and quickness playing off this crowd for TCU on that D-line is winning at the line of scrimmage.
So many times on 3rd down, he's looked for Colin Johnson, who's to the top of the screen, defended by Gladney. Ehlinger in trouble. He goes down. It's a short gain. He's stopped by Mathis. It's 4th down.
There's nowhere to go. There's 8 men dropping in coverage. And 3rd and 9, yeah, he was looking for Colin again, but he's on a little in-breaking route for about 4 or 5 yards. That's even covered. And credit to this TCU front. That front has not affected the quarterback nearly enough this season. And they got the message at halftime because they have been dominant in this second half.
Chris Nagar replaces Ryan Buchevsky. Bruce reported to finish today, injuring his arm on the fake punt. And Nagar's first one is a good one. Rager watches it bounce and downed at the 19. Take a look at today's All-State Mayhem moment. The interception from our Darius Washington, which led to a touchdown in the following play.
And this is redshirt freshman on freshman. I'll tell you, one of the bigger plays of that was Garawalo getting a little bump, totally legal, resetting that in-cutting route and giving Washington the safety time to really feel it all. Right, the good safeties, the teams that cover down on the back end, they have a feel for what's coming at them. They don't just play coverage. They read, they anticipate like a good quarterback. Big time play by Washington.
TCU with the ball up 7 late in this third quarter. Duggan to throw on first down. He's starting to feel it. Wanted it all again. Thought better of it. Has room to run if he wants to. He chooses to. First down, gain of 11.
Yeah, and this is in no way, shape, or form the time to shut it down. You continue to be aggressive. Number one, because Max is so much better in second halves. But number two, because you know what Texas is capable of offensively. And I'm sure Gary Patterson said to Sonny Cumbie, keep being aggressive. Keep attacking this youthful, inexperienced secondary.
Empty it out on 1st and 10. Texas showing heat. All 11 men within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage here. Does Duggan look to go over the top again? Instead, he goes down. The blitz gets home with Juwan Mitchell.
And we've seen Mitchell pull the trigger a couple different times, and this is one I think where the young quarterback has just got to get rid of the ball. Or you've got to slide the line to the left there. Center, left guard, McMillan, Iwagwu have got to slide to that, but Mitchell's speed and quickness makes a huge play at just the time Texas defensively needs it.
First sack today for a defense that's only had one of them over the last 3 games. 2nd and 16. Been a quiet day for Darius Anderson. Tough sledding there on a gain of 4. Graham and Roach combine on the tackle, make it 3rd and long.
I think on that sack, Joe, pre-snap they were showing a different look, trying to confuse the line to which way they could slide. They won that one both pre and post.
Bringing just 3 here on 3rd down. Duggan throws over the head of Rager, who he had open. And it would have been a 1st down if he put it on him.
And when he misses high because he's a guy that just has some juice and energy still. And we were talking to Gary and to Sonny saying, man, just have him throw into a wall before the game, because often he throws with so much energy. And when he misses like he does there, that's too bad, too, because they had an open receiver, if you're TCU, a chance to stay on the field.
Well, both teams are to their 2nd punter. TCU by choice. Jordy Sandy shanked one, just a 14-yarder during the 1st half, and so it's been Dylan Jones. Out of bounds near the 30. Now this TCU defense, number 1 in the Big 12 for 3rd consecutive year in terms of total defense, has stepped it up in regards to taking the ball away and hitting Sam Ehlinger today.
Yeah, a hard guy to do either of those things, too, all season long. Ehlinger with just 3 picks coming in, 2 today. That 2nd one by Washington setting up the touchdown. Wallow had the 1st one. Both of them were TCU defenders jumping in, breaking routes. And that group up front, whether it's been a 3-man rush, been a 4-man rush, they have at least made Sam move off his mark and hit him a bunch. Again, something in their losses against Iowa State, against SMU, they could not get done.
Yeah, another thing, they've always gotten a lot of turnovers here under Gary Patterson. Hasn't been the case this season. Came into the game with just 5 of them. They've got the 2 today, and they've got Wallow and Blacklock combining to drop Ingram for a loss of 3.
Yeah, Blacklock destroyed that play. Whenever you have pullers, Gary Patterson knows it. You destroy that with penetration. Blacklock does, and Wallow cleans up. Those 2 been dynamite this season and this afternoon.
Texas thought that Ross Blacklock probably the best nose they're going to face this season. Guy that missed all of last year with an Achilles injury after he was the Big 12 Freshman of the Year in 2017. Likely the final play of the 3rd quarter. Ehlinger facing pressure, rolling to his right, keeping his eyes downfield. There's a flag down as he throws another interception. This one from Trayvon Merrick. Penalty is a hold. It's declined. Sam Ehlinger, intercepted 3 times over the first 7 games of the season, has been intercepted 3 times today by TCU. Waiting for the official call here.
Already in the end of the 3rd quarter, our score TCU 27, the University of Texas 20.
Cooper, what do you got? It was a hold. It was declined. May not get an official call, but just trust us.
3 big turnovers. A team that has struggled this season. Don't have a fumble recovery yet on the entire season, but they got 3 takeaways from one of the country's best quarterbacks, and they've set their offense up in position to begin the 4th.
Back on Fox College Football, sponsored by Volkswagen. Drive something bigger than yourself. Ready for the fourth quarter. That third quarter owned by TCU, which leads at 27-20. They had 5 takeaways over the first 6 games. They've got 3 today on 3 picks of Sam Ehlinger. The latest from Trayvon Merrick, making it 1st and 10 of the Texas 36. Here's Jett Anderson into the arms of Joseph Osai.
Ehlinger with 3 picks, a Texas run game that tried to run it 9 times in that third quarter for 16 yards. Against this defense in this building, you have to have balance. No matter how good Ehlinger has been this season, if you become one-dimensional against a Gary Patterson defense, you're up against it.
They average about 3.5 yards per play during that third quarter, and then you put the turnovers on top of it. And you've got TCU in control here, like they were, though, last year in this matchup, and Texas was able to come from behind to win. Back-to-back runs. Duggan this time. He's got a first down. Stopped by Montrell Estelle.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see an awful lot of this in the final 15 minutes. You're going to mix in your shots down the field, but I think this is also time where Gary Patterson is feeling the way his defense is playing. Run a little clock. Not about tempo right now. Duggan more than capable as a runner. Look at the bandage. He had that bandage on his right elbow before the game. He's Iowa tough. He does not mind holding on to that ball, and I think a smart play here. Start utilizing this to just maximize these opportunities and shorten the number of possessions and chances you give Ehlinger on the other side.
Running it inside 10 seconds, all the way down to 5 before they snap it. Here comes Anderson running with a purpose right through Jones. The ball came out. TCU was able to get back on it with Coy McMillan. Big collisions here early in the fourth quarter of this rivalry matchup. Second and 5. Duggan looked right. Now he'll run and get 3. Odeli Adewe with a tackle, and it's 3rd and short.
That was a big-time tackle by Adewe. He didn't make it. Duggan maybe one-on-one with the safety for a touchdown. That was a cool design QB draw off a little screen look. Here comes the big back.
The Wildcat with Alanalua. They ran it once today on the goal line, and Alanalua went into the end zone untouched.
And it was right behind the right side. If you're going to run it somewhere, it's more favorable behind Niang, your right tackle.
Bolasami at right guard. They've also got Carter Ware in there, the fullback, and the tight end in Artavius Lynn. It's Alanalua. He will lose yards as Brandon Jones gets there first. He had plenty of help. White shirts surrounding Alanalua and making it 4th down.
But it was the early penetration. I knew it. You knew it. I think everybody in this building knew that that ball was going to go to the right side, and you see the amount of pursuit and effort there. Osai sets it up. It's his early penetration. And that guy's got no give up in him whatsoever.
Here comes a field goal attempt from Jonathan Song. And boy, couldn't Texas use what they got twice last week. That is a block kick. 1 field goal, 1 extra point. From 33 yards. Makes it look easy. And for the first time today, the Horned Frogs lead it by 2 scores as they've scored 17 straight against Texas. Fox College Football is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Push button, get mortgage. And by the double chalupa box on the Taco Bell. Very similar to last year's game. Turnovers in the third quarter have flipped things. It was the other way around last year where Texas took control and took over with a couple of third quarter takeaways. But TCU twice intercepting Sam Ehlinger in the third, and they've scored 17 straight, lead it by 10.
What though, give some credit to that much maligned Texas defense right there. A huge 3rd down stop, not a touchdown, not 14 points. And for a veteran team, they've got to get it right up front. If they don't protect and run the ball, it's going to be really hard to find the end zone here in the fourth.
Smith takes the fair catch. From the 25-yard line, they'll begin try to take better care of the ball. A TCU defense that had just 3 takeaways all season coming, or 5 takeaways all season coming in, has 3 today.
And Ellinger with just the 3 picks all season gets all 3 of them, and all different guys and all different varieties. But one thing was a constant. It was team defense. Right? It's that second level. It is that secondary. It's what these Horned Frogs take such great pride in, and that is making life miserable for a quarterback. Mixing up your coverages, jumping those routes, being able to play the ball, all tenets of Gary Patterson's defenses.
Which is one of a kind, the way he does his defense. Play action on the first play of the drive. Ellinger well protected, throwing one over the middle, incomplete, looking for John Burt. Good defense from Keon Stewart, the true freshman.
And Texas is missing Brennan Eagles. I talked a lot about him today. We've not seen nearly as much. Burt is his backup, the senior playing. Eagles missed some practice time earlier this week. He's got 5 touchdowns. He's really the 3rd weapon in this arsenal that makes him so difficult to defend. And I think Sam's missing him this afternoon.
Roshan Johnson has a hard time getting back to the line of scrimmage. Garrett Waller the tackle, but again, it's that defensive line beating the Texas offensive line.
You can see it. You can see that line being set a yard back on those run plays. Exactly what a middle linebacker like Waller wants so he can go and finish.
Ten-point game, 10:45 left to go. 3rd and 10 for Texas. 3-man twist up front. It's picked up, so Ellinger with time. Will somebody come free? Colin Johnson on the sideline with a flag down. It's a catch, but there is a flag. A catch and a first down. And you await the call from Cooper Castleberry.
Holding by number 12 of the defense. It's a 10-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Boy, and they needed it badly.
On 3rd and 10, you rush 3, and Gladney's saying, hey, you let us hand fight all day long today in that matchup with Johnson. He doesn't like the call, but it's awfully difficult to defend for 3, 4, 5 seconds in that case. In a much-needed 3rd down conversion by the Longhorns.
The previous 10 plays, Brock, they had 2 yards total. As many yards as they did turnovers over the previous 10 plays. But they get 12 here to Johnson. They're just going to make sure. Wow, what a catch, huh?
Amazing awareness, isn't it?
And flexibility.
Goodness.
7 receptions for Johnson today, matching Duvernay. Ellinger to the sideline. Johnson again. This time Gladney wins the battle.
Football can be so complex at times, right? We study all these details. Offenses will have a couple hundred plays, and then ultimately it comes down to these one-on-one situations. How many different battles between these 2 warriors here in Fort Worth today? A senior there, 2 seniors that have just been going after it for the last few years. And good on display all afternoon.
Ellinger to throw on 2nd and 10. Feels the pressure. Steps up. Wings it outside. Roshan Johnson with a spin move. Now he cuts it back and gets hogtied. It's a flag for a face mask. 2nd penalty of the drive that leads to a first down.
A personal foul, grabbing the face mask by number 6 of the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty and a first down.
Yep, at the end there, Blacklock gets a hold of the face mask. Moves it into Horned Frog territory.
40-40, your shot zone where you like to take those vertical opportunities.
Seen TCU do it a couple times. Does Texas do it here? Instead, Ellinger runs. Sam Ellinger has a first down.
That's been the component I've not seen nearly as much as I thought today. Maybe he's just waiting to winning time. All of that coverage, 3 over 2. Got to find that lane to run. Ellinger more than capable over the course of his career. He scored a lot of touchdowns on the ground. I have a hunch before this afternoon's over, he's going to try to do that again.
23 of them in his 3 years as the man in Austin. 9 minutes to go. He and the Horns trailing by 10. Feeling his way through the pocket and running again. Ellinger with another first down to the 16 on his longest run of the day. It goes for 16.
So you want to play all this coverage, right? And you have people locked up downfield. Is almost as if on those last 2 snaps, they're not QB draws by any means. But Sam looking for his opportunity to find that lane and go get those yards.
And then a flag. Looks like movement up front before that thing was snapped by Shackelford.
And you want to slow down a rush.
A false start by number 73 of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still first down.
And that's the left guard, Parker Braun there, trying to get an early jump. Slow down a rush. Running QB helps, but this has been also a huge facet of this afternoon. The struggle down in the red zone.
You see in yellow there, 86% this season at turning red zone trips into touchdowns, as good as anybody in the country. 1 for 4 today. Penalty makes it 1st and 15. Just one to snap it. Just barely get it off. Ellinger throws incomplete. Washington the coverage on Duvernay.
I think also very telling for Tom Herman. I bet you if you told him that you're going to get 4 or 5 shots in the red zone, and Tom wanted a timeout before the snap, does not get it, gets the incompletion. This was an area they felt good about because TCU is last in this conference in the red zone, giving up touchdowns at a nearly 80% clip themselves before game number 7.
Pretty even matchup across the board. That was like the lone exception. A mismatch in the red zone on paper. But that's why you play the games. 2nd down and long. Ellinger underneath. It's Duvernay. Crowded middle of the field. Trayvon Merrick the tackle. It's 3rd and about 11.
Can you get Johnson to the top of the field in a one-on-one one more time? That has been your best matchup today.
They shade Washington his direction. Johnson against Gladney. Been matched up all afternoon. Looking in his direction. Scanning the field. Delivering a strike, and it's 1st and goal. The 5th-year senior John Burke. An increased role today because Eagles has not played his biggest catch of the season.
And tempo right to the ball for the Longhorns.
From the 5, Roshan Johnson. 2nd and goal. Wyatt Harris the tackle.
Do you have any doubt that Erlinger was not going to respond? Because he is a veteran, and I had no hesitation as you see Eagles on the sidelines that he would respond like this.
Johnson again lowers the shoulder and gets in. Touchdown, Texas. There is a flag down.
Offside by number 44 of the defense. Penalties declined. Touchdown.
That was 6:50 left to go. Texas back within a score.
You just knew Ellinger was going to do it because he's done it all season long. Back against the wall, doesn't matter. Down in the 4th quarter to LSU, to Oklahoma, that guy is going to fight, and he's going to scrap, and he's going to run. And that was the big key on that drive, his ability to run. And the huge pass on 3rd down to ultimately set up the touchdown.
Previous 3 drives, they had a total of 2 yards. On this drive, 12 plays, 75 yards. Texas within 3. What a finish we've got coming on Fox. Well, Roshan Johnson gets the touchdown, but the big play was the 3rd and 11 completion to John Burke.
And the senior nickelback here, Ennis Gaines, keep an eye on him. This is 3rd and 11. You have got to make this throw go underneath. He widens, he opens up that zone window. On the clicker tomorrow, when Gary Patterson meets with his crew, he's so demanding of those guys in the secondary. You've got to force that throw to go to the backup tight end, Lato, in the flat. You cannot open that window for a veteran quarterback. Sam delivered.
Open a window for Hellinger to deliver. Open a window for Texas back into this game. 30-27, 6:50 left to go. Back in a moment. Had some big plays in this game. Today's Outback Steakhouse clutch delivery. Max Duggan finding Jalen Reagor.
They wanted him to throw with more air on the ball. And the teardrop right here for Max when you've got a receiver that's beating that defensive back by 2-3 yards. Put air on it and let the playmakers go finish.
We've seen Duggan seemingly develop more and more confidence as this game has gone on. 13 of his last 15, beginning with that drive where they got the field goal to finish off the first half, which, by the way, a 52-yarder looms large in a 3-point game with 6:50 left. Reagor takes it. Spins off initial contact, then gets dropped in the backfield by Jalen Green. So how aggressive are you here as a play caller if you're Sonny Cumbie?
Oh, you have to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you see the emphasis there to get your best player of the ball. But once again, Texas strings it out, and a pretty good crew sideline to sideline. They have been at their worst, being challenged vertically. That's where the big plays have come over the last few weeks. So I would think over the final 6, you're going to see another shot down the field.
Olanalua in the backfield on 2nd and 11. Back to throw. All day, over the top, looking for another big one. Barber can't get it. Coverage from Owens, and it's 3rd and 11.
That was the matchup earlier. That was the 51-yarder, and the true freshman here, Tyler Owens, learned his lesson. He knew the speed of Tay Barber, did his best to close it down. A little bit of contact, but
58 of the offense. The penalty's half the distance to the goal, and it's still 2nd down.
And the penalty to boot.
And I think that's the right call. I think you see Tay Barber still getting his legs back after a hamstring injury.
It's 3rd down.
As you hear from Cooper Castleberry, they declined the penalty, and so 3rd and 11 for Duggan and the Horned Frogs.
Can't be done doing that. You have to continue to test the true freshman, the backup to the backup safety. I like that play call, and you cannot lose that aggressiveness down the stretch, not when you're going against the group offensively on the other side.
It's much maligned Texas defense. Can they pitch a 3 and out? Get it back to Ellinger in the offense. 6 minutes left. They're down 3. One-on-one matchups across the board for Duggan to look at. Retreating, lofting, sideline. It is perfectly thrown, but a juggle. It's a catch. John Stevens, 1st down. Wow. Looks like he hung on.
Very similar to Colin Johnson earlier in the game. Remember, he had a little bobble, but he secured it while that foot was still on the ground. I think a very similar reception there by the big receiver, Stevens. That was a heck of a throw on 3rd and 10.
Anticipating it. 5.5 to go from the 40. Olanalua. It'll be 2nd and 8 after this game break.
Coming up right here on Fox after Texas TCU, it's Game 4 of the World Series between the Astros and the Nationals. Houston feeling good after taking Game 3 last night. Nats still lead the series 2-1. Pre-game starts at 7:30 Eastern. First pitch set for 8:07 right here on Fox, Joe.
All right, Amber, and quite an entertaining lead-in to Game 4 of the World Series. 30-27, inside 5 minutes left. On 2nd down, off play action. Duggan steps up, steps away, takes off. 1st down in Texas territory. Coburn delivers the big hit, but it's after a gain of 14 for the freshman quarterback.
Thought he could check it down to his running back, and the Horned Frogs running back, 2nd, 3rd leading receivers on this team. Instead, he uses his running back Olanalua to be the blocker. And much like Ellinger on the other side, you're seeing two quarterbacks with the game on the line. The X factor they bring to the table, their ability to run.
Now 63 yards for Duggan. This is a Texas defense. That's been one of the problems, running quarterbacks. Spencer Sanders, Oklahoma State, more than 100. Jalen Hurts, 131. Lua gets pummeled this time. Malcolm Roach brings him down. His fourth tackle for a loss today.
Well, he's been a difference maker, hasn't he?
Coming up 2nd and 12.
The clock becoming a factor inside 4 minutes. Both teams all 3 timeouts. 2nd and 12 from the 45. Ellinger hoping for another opportunity. Run the play clock all the way down. Work out of an empty set. Free rusher, flushing Duggan. He'll slide. It's 3rd and long. Boy, Juwan Mitchell has been effective on the blitz today.
That is the exact same pressure look that they sacked Duggan earlier, and you know that Tom Herman is going to allow his defensive coordinator, Todd Orlando, to do what Todd does best, and that is to get after the quarterback, to not sit there and let those shots down the field happen, but to force the issue. Once again, Mitchell comes unblocked, and Orlando's nature is to be aggressive.
3rd and 14, 2:50 left to go. Again, they empty it out for the freshman quarterback. And again, Texas brings heat. Duggan hit as he throws. Lance Barber, he makes the catch. What an adjustment. What a play. 1st down, TCU.
Wow. Biggest play yet of the game. The Longhorns do what they do best. Osai comes in and he drills the true freshman. But the true freshman on the other side, Owens can't find the ball, and Barber, like he did earlier with the game-changing play, does. Give your difference makers a chance. Elevate the people around you. What Sonny Cumbie wants any young quarterback to do, Duggan aces that test.
They convert 3rd and 14, 2:05 to go. It's Duggan on the pull read. Downhill touchdown. Max Duggan arrives against Texas. And it's a 2-score lead with 1:59. And Sonny Cumbie, who's taken a lot of heat from TCU fans, a lot of heat in the media for the play calling over the first 6 games of the season, as they work from one quarterback to another. Getting the best performance of the young career from the freshman out of Council Bluffs, Iowa. The pride of Lewis Central. Max Duggan for the touchdown and a 10-point lead. Fox College Football is sponsored by the all-new Crew-Ready Cadillac XT6. What a day for Max Duggan. 273 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. 72 yards on the ground, and that touchdown there firing up the mild-mannered, normally Sonny Cumbie.
Yeah, that was a great call by you. I think that release of emotion wasn't just about this game, but it's about watching a young freshman have his moment. When was he going to take that step? And Max has taken a bunch of them in this second half, and really frustration over the last few years for Sonny Cumbie. All of that coming out as his gums spitting out.
1:59 left to go. Here's Deshaun Jamison. He got drilled shy of the 20 as we look back at the touchdown.
Yeah, middle linebacker Juwan Mitchell has been incredibly impactful when he is downhill. But when he's got to sit and hesitate and watch, and he waits for 1 second, that's it. That's the step. I don't think he thought any way Max was going to be able to run right by him and bust that angle. But Juwan hesitates for a moment, and the young freshman not looking like it in this second half at all.
Well, this game not over yet. It's a 10-point game. critical there that TCU is able to get a touchdown out of that trip. But 3 timeouts and the veteran quarterback Sam Ehlinger. Got 2 to snap it here. They get it off in time. 8 in coverage. That ball is tipped and incomplete. Jeff Gladney has had his mark all over this game. He got his hand on it there to make it 2nd and 10.
There are a lot of NFL people here. He's a little slow to get up. He's actually going to hop off the field, but he baits that throw, the corner route behind him, and the tip nearly ends up in the arms for the 4th time of a Horned Frog.
That was Ben Wilson making his debut on defense for TCU today.
TCU calls their first time out of the half. 30-second timeout.
He's going to use a timeout. Some confusion there. Who is going to come into the game for Gladney? Well, GP is prowling, isn't he?
He's been busy.
There's no scarier place than to be a young player and make a mental mistake under Gary Patterson, and I think Keon Stewart wasn't ready to come into the game for Jeff Gladney. So Patterson uses a timeout. 2nd and 10 with 1:47. Ehlinger, Ingram, Wilson. Now Ben Wilson had foot surgery and so missed the first 5 games of the year. Made his debut on special teams against Kansas State last week, playing some big minutes defensively at linebacker here in this one. Third and 7. Texas running out of time. All 3 timeouts still, but looking for a big play. Ehlinger rolling. He needs the 30. He'll take off and get a first down. Garrett Waller the tackle. Clock stops to move the chains.
If you're the Horned Frogs, everything is in front of you. You've got to be deeper than the deepest and not allow that ball to be stretched vertically.
They're looking to stretch it with Johnson. Some jousting out there with Keon Stewart, Gladney's replacement, and it was just out of his reach.
Surprised you leave that matchup. A senior on a freshman in a one-on-one go ball.
7-inch advantage, too.
Yeah.
Unable to hook up. 2nd and 10 with 1:17.
And you see the adjustment for Gary now. You've got a safety on top.
And Gladney back in.
Yeah, that's right.
TCU continues to drop 8 into coverage. Ehlinger continues to have time. He's chased. He throws. 3rd and 10. O'Shawn Mathis hot in pursuit. 1:08 left to go.
Those two have been at it all day long. One of the better play callers in all of college football, and Gary Patterson, a guy that tries to defeat every call with his defensive signals. And man, has his secondary been good in this second half.
Third down and long. Ehlinger will check it down. Ingram can't get away from Ben Wilson. Last breath coming here for Texas on 4th and 10.
And these receivers are gassed. I mean, these receivers have been running up and down this field as much as they possibly can. Well, here's the game.
Fourth and 10. Last chance for the Horns. Ehlinger steps up. In trouble. Gets rid of it. Picked off. Innis gains the 4th interception of the day by the TCU defense. That tells a big part of the story. They score 17 straight, and with a 10-point lead in 53 seconds, it's on ice.
That's teaching tape in this second half of how to cover down, even against a loaded receiving corps with a bunch of seniors and a quarterback as hot as anybody in college football. The eyes are in the backfield. They know the scheme inside and out. Garrett Wallow has been a force in the run game. He's spying Ellinger. You rush 3, you put a spy on him, and Gary Patterson knows it. He called one heck of a second half.
Sam Ellinger will finish the day 22 for 48 with 4 interceptions, a career high.
Could not get the run game going at all. That entire second half, the only run game that got going were Sam's legs. And you just can't do it, not against this defense or group in this building.
Coburn stops Olanalua. They use the first of the 3 timeouts.
I told you on the other side.
Actually going to let it go, Brock.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. A little surprising.
Well, they know the World Series is next. Huh?
It is Houston. And so Gary Patterson's team, which had dropped 3 of its last 4, started to be questions. Can they even make a bowl game this season? Last time they missed a bowl was 2013. They're going to move to 4-3. They're going to beat Texas for the 5th time in the last 6 years. Olanalua goes down. That will run the clock out. And the questions about where is Texas in year 3 under Tom Herman will remain.
Well, they weren't nearly good enough in this second half, and Gary's Horned Frogs sure were. And we just watched a freshman quarterback grow up and have his moment to take that next step in his career. Max Duggan was awesome in that second half. So was the defense.
1961, the last time TCU took down Texas. The Longhorns were in the top 15. And they're going to celebrate this one in style. Bruce Feldman has Gary Patterson.
Gary, Sam Ellinger had only been picked off 3 times all season coming into this. You got him 4 times. I know you were frustrated at half, talking about we got to play our defense. How are you guys able to make this happen?
Well, we chased some players, and then we came up. Guys just made some plays. We just did what we should have did the first half.
Your quarterback, Max Duggan, I know per your policy you don't make freshmen available for interviews. So I'm going to ask you, he made a ton of plays. When did you realize Max was different than your average freshman quarterback?
Well, when we recruited him. I mean, he's a great kid, great family, everything. His future's very bright.
Your voice is gone. Is this going to be a feeling of joy, or what's going on from here?
Hell yeah.
All right, thanks, Coach. Joe, back to you.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, he can't even talk. Take a look at today's Ford unstoppable player. How about Max Duggan today? 273 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air, 72 yards and a touchdown on the ground.
You know, Bruce said before the game, Trace McSorley was the comp. That's who TCU felt that they were getting, and why many around the country wanted him to lead their program. I watched a lot of Trace, and this afternoon in the second half, that was Trace McSorley-esque, a winner. He put touch on the deep ball, something that he's had to learn a little bit this season. And then with the game on the line, it was that game-changing play, that unstoppable touchdown run that was the final nail in the coffin.
Our broadcast associate, Anthony Papadakis, has been sitting in his hotel room all week, rubbing his hands together, saying, I hope Max Duggan plays well so I can have a graphic that says, teach me how to Duggan. And he got his wish. 405 yards passing, 187 yards rushing for him. And TCU comes up with a win. 17 unanswered to finish it. 37-27 the final. Mike Hill, Robert Smith in Los Angeles have more post-game coverage right after these messages. So long from Fort Worth.